Save with half-off deals, a great way for you to get goods and services that you will love and you don't have to pay full price. Be sure to check out all the great savings that half-off deals have to offer. There's something for everyone, so be sure to see for yourself. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
The Dell Technologies Labor Day event is here. Up to 48% off Vostro laptops with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Upgrade by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
Welcome to the Dan Kasper Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the show that features serious, thought-provoking sports talk and insightful sports commentary.
You knew it.
In other words, it's the show where they all talk a crap load about sports.
Let's go for it.
Now let's introduce your host, a man who lives and breathes and has a passion for sports. A man who breaks everything down in the sports world and gives you everything you need to know. Plus a bunch of stuff you probably don't need, but you'll still enjoy it.
You can't handle the truth.
Here is your host, Dan Kasper.
Prime time. Prime time.
What up, everybody? Good morning and happy Tuesday. Dan Kasper Show is on the air. Radio dials, couple of those, 105.1 FM, 790 AM online, sportstalk1051.com, where you can get the video link, YouTube live stream video link up there. You got the app, Google and Alexa home devices. I think they finally got that the app working. Let's just double check live. Huh? Oh, yeah, it's working. It's working this morning. The app's working. So, all right. Don't have that to grind about here on a Grind My Gears Tuesday this morning. But shout out to all of you listening, wherever you're listening, however you're listening. It is a Grind My Gears Tuesday, which means whatever's grinding your gears, you can hit us up with some texts, 715-830-1912. We begin this morning with the scripted plays, the opening drive scripted plays here this morning. And in case you went to bed a little early last night, you missed the Brewers with a come-from-behind victory, walk-off victory last night. And it started, well, Garrett Mitchell, man, a couple games in, and he's already got Euchre calling his home run calls.
Swinging a drive right.
That's not Euchre. Where's Euchre? Oh, I thought I potted up the wrong one. See, you could already grind my gears here this morning on that one. But we'll get the Euchre call up there. Got to get Euchre when it's your call, when it's your first home run as a Brewer, right? There we go. Here we go. Now I got right one here. Let's rewind it.
Swinging a rocket to right center. Get up! Get up! Get out of here and gone! For Garrett Mitchell. He just hit one out of here.
And Garrett Mitchell ties it up in the eighth inning last night. And then in the ninth, it was Keston Hiura again. Hiura playing hero.
Now the pitch. Keston to left and deep. Hey, get up! Off the wall. Gone! For Keston Hiura.
Walk-off victory for the Brewers last night in the first game of their series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Corbin Burns, kind of struggling there, giving up 4 runs in the inning last night. Ended up going 6 innings, 5 earned total, but it was those 4 runs in the 5th inning that allowed the Pirates to take the lead after the Brewers had put up 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. But Brewers clawing back, putting up those 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th, thanks to Garrett Mitchell, and then bottom of the 9th with the walk-off from Keston Hiura. So Brewers picking up their 68th victory on the season, but the Padres taking care of business. If you're doing a little scoreboard watching, Padres taking care of business last night against the Giants 6-5. So Brewers kind of focusing on that wild card right now. Still remain behind St. Louis, taking it to Cincinnati last night 13-4. Albert Pujols picking up another home run last night too. But Brewers remain 1.5 back in that wild card chase from the San Diego Padres. So Brewers will try again tonight. Jason Alexander is going to get the start for the Brew Crew with Aaron Ashby on the injured list, and obviously with Adrian Hauser having some issues, that sort of thing. So Jason Alexander, we're extending the summer of George, I guess, with Jason Alexander getting the start for the Brew Crew tonight. 7:10 first pitch. Coverage will begin about 35 minutes prior. And then Freddie Peralta is going to get the wrap-up tomorrow for the day game. That first pitch is going to be at 1:10 before the Brewers head out to the West Coast. Speaking of Garrett Mitchell and Keston Hiura, those are 2 players, and Christian Yelich too, but you look at what Keston Hiura has had some big moments in the last couple of weeks here, has increased the calls for Brewers fans to play more of Keston. He's been hitting the long ball, clutch hits there at the end. Did it again last night. Got to give Keston a lot of credit. If you're looking at the numbers from Keston, in his last 23 at-bats, he has had 4 home runs. If you increase it to his last 43 at-bats, 6 home runs. In his last 23 at-bats, he's also slugging .783 at this rate. And then Garrett Mitchell, he gets his 3rd game in. He comes in his first game on a defensive assignment. Second game, he collects his first hit and his first RBI. And then in his 3rd game, his second full-time game, he gets a game-tying home run in the 8th at home with a euchre call that helps lead the Brewers to victory in the 9th. By the way, did you see if you haven't seen the clips of his family just freaking out and pumped up and his dad shedding some tears after that? It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, as Mike had texted the bullpen line after the game. That's why I love sports. That was from Mike. Overnight. But man, oh man, what an exciting game last night. And hopefully the Brewers can continue this, and hopefully this will propel them and get on a little streak here, and hopefully they get some help with some other teams there so they can get back into that wild card chase. Big day today for the Brewers. Moving on down to our next scripted play. Big day, for the Packers. Whew, struggling already this morning. Big day for the Packers. It is the 53-man roster deadline day today. So Packers didn't make any moves. Some teams made some moves yesterday, kind of slowly, getting their 53-man roster set. But the Packers still not really anything yesterday. They still practiced. Elton Jenkins was back at practice. We're going to get to Elton Jenkins here in a second on the next scripted play. But today's the day that we will see what the initial 53-man roster is going to look like. So I know yesterday we threw out there, do you have any predictions on some surprise picks or anything like that? If you want to chime in on that still today, since there really wasn't any moves yesterday, you can do so with some text, some tweets, or some Facebook messages and that sort of thing. But today's the day. This afternoon, we will know what the 53 at least looks like for the first day, because it definitely, and it has in the past, changed after the first couple of days. So, but Elton Jenkins did return to practice yesterday, and it's kind of a weird thing going on. Now, I don't want to do any conspiracy theory sort of things. I mean, it's just weird. So let's rewind it, okay? Put the cassette in, rewind it from a couple days ago. Elton Jenkins not at practice. Well, he's at practice, but he's riding a stationary bike. Okay, he's in the rehab group. It was on Monday. Or that was on Sunday. Monday is yesterday. Monday, he's back at practice. So Sunday, everybody, Packers fans, freaking out. Did he have a setback? The reporters at practice were told it's not anything to deal with his knee. Nothing to do with his knee. Not dealing with that. So what is it? Well, yesterday at practice, he had a shoulder brace on. And our good buddy Rob Domofsky had tweeted out that it's he's never seen him wear the shoulder brace. And then initially after practice, Elton Jenkins did not want to talk in the locker room. What's going on? And then before that, there was even some theories out there. Is he upset about contract? Because he's due to be a free agent. But, he was practicing and, rehab, kind of weird timing sort of thing, right? And then Elton Jenkins, who didn't initially want to talk in the locker room, came back to a select to some reporters, one being Rob, the other being Matt Schneidman, Jason Wilde being the other. And he said, ask him about, he came back and said that, you could ask him a couple questions. And so they asked him about missing practice yesterday. He said it was not contract related. He said it wasn't because of the shoulder brace, and it wasn't the ACL injury. Don't know what it is. But whatever the case, he was back at practice. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Not trying to be a little conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but very hush-hush. Very hush-hush, which is, I don't know. Maybe probably nothing there. It's just seemed kind of off. But we'll find out if he's going to be at practice today. But again, the deadline, in case I missed it, 3 p.m. today for teams to have their rosters down to 53. I want to touch a little bit on Zach Tom today too. Packers a rookie offensive lineman. He just continues to put up the numbers, and he finished the preseason as he was first among rookies in pass blocking grade. He played 69 pass blocking snaps, just pass blocking. Pressures allowed, not 0. And he finished first with the pass blocking grade according to Pro Football Focus. Zach Tom be in that starting lineup? If Matt LaFleur always talks about putting the top 5 or the top 5 offensive linemen out there, if he always says putting the top guys out there, is Zach Tom a top 5 offensive lineman right now for the Packers? And let's assume everybody's healthy, okay? You can add in David Bakhtiari to that. You can add in Elton Jenkins to that. Is Zach Tom a top 5 offensive lineman right now for this team? Is he above Bakhtiari? If Bakhtiari's healthy, I wouldn't put him up there. I wouldn't put him above Elton Jenkins. What about Royce Newman? Something to think about a little bit here, but I don't know. Remember, Elton Jenkins didn't start initially right away, but was after the first game into the second game, got in that lineup, and then never looked back. We kind of see the same thing when it comes to Zach Tom here. I don't know, but something to kind of watch. We're gonna chat some Badger football with RJ Cardinal coming up a couple hours from now, about 2 hours from now, as the Badgers get set to kick off their season. We know the college football world got started with week 0 this past weekend. Nebraska, Northwestern, Illinois, all that sort of stuff. But we'll get the full slate of games. They all kick off on Thursday, but the Badgers will get things going on Saturday night. So we've actually got a game to focus on. We got a game to preview with Mr. RJ Cardinal. Badgers taking on the Illinois State Redbirds at 6 p.m. on the 3rd. So we'll hit up some Badger chats. Some other stuff going on across the sports world. One of the biggest ones yesterday, the whole Jimmy Garoppolo situation. I mean, that was, I don't think a scenario that a lot of us thought would play out, but he's back and he's going to be the backup to Trey Lance. Now, what does that say about the 49ers' confidence in Trey Lance? What does that say? I mean, you could go a bunch of different ways with this whole thing. There's like, well, was there a market for Jimmy Garoppolo? Was there, that sort of stuff? You could throw it all a bunch of different ways. But I don't know, if you're Trey Lance and Jimmy G's back, put yourself in the shoes of Trey Lance. Are you feeling a little pressure now? Is it 49ers kind of telling us a little bit about, how they feel about what they saw from Trey Lance in the preseason? Maybe a little bit nervous. But you can bet your bottom dollar that as soon as Trey Lance, goes through a little bit of a rough patch, if he does, there's going to be calls for Jimmy G. But I got to imagine as a youngster, second-year guy, the guy that you're drafted to replace, he comes back when you thought he was going to be gone. He comes back, and now he's going to be your backup. Got to be kind of a weird situation, just a little bit, I would think. But speaking of that, we will continue our NFL preview series coming up here a little bit later on. We're going to take a look at the AFC East. So yesterday we did the NFC East. We're going to take a look at the AFC East. That's the Patriots. That's the Jets. That's the Buffalo Bills. That's the Miami Dolphins. So I think the majority of people will pick the Buffalo Bills to win this division. So the question of the day that I'll put up on Twitter here in just a little bit is there another playoff team in the AFC East? And if so, who is that team? Is it the Patriots? Will the Patriots go back to the postseason? Can the Miami Dolphins make that jump and get to the postseason? Will the Jets see any sort of improvement? So if we're all assuming Buffalo is going to win the division, okay, will there be another team from that AFC East that can get into the postseason? And who is that team? We'll put that up on Twitter in just a little bit. A lot of intrigue surrounding the Dolphins, but biggest question, I think, in my opinion, and we'll deep dive into it a little bit later on, is what kind of performance are they going to get from Tua, the quarterback? He's got speed on the outside with his wide receivers, but can he be the man? Can he lead the Dolphins? So let's that's your scripted plays rundown right there. Let's get at it. Let's get the main course going here. So let's chat a little Brewers. Let's chat a little green and gold. We're going to mix both of them in here into the main course here this morning. Brewers getting the walk-off victory last night, thanks to Garrett Mitchell and Keston Hiura. Take a look at Game 2 of the series with the Pirates tonight. Jason Alexander is going to get the start. And then the Packers. Talk a little bit about Elton Jenkins. Talk a little bit about Zach Tom. And today's the day that we will know the initial 53-man roster. What's the biggest thing that you will be paying attention to when it comes to the 53-man roster? What's the biggest question, or what's the biggest position group, whatever you want to phrase it as? Like for me, I'll tell you right now, one of the biggest questions I have is Mason Crosby going to be on this 53? Is Mason Crosby going to be on this 53? So that's one of my biggest questions I have surrounding the 53. What are yours? Hit us up with some texts. All right. Shoe Doctors bullpen line 715-830-1912. All right. That's your scripted plays. Let's dive into it. Let's get into the game plan. First up, let's chat some Brewers. Then we'll get into some Packers talk. Quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. At this very moment, there are thousands of Wisconsin families impacted by Alzheimer's disease or dementia who need support. Who do they trust? The Alzheimer's Association. Caregiving can be an emotionally, physically, and financially draining role. The Alzheimer's Association provides education, care, and support to all those facing Alzheimer's and other dementia. The Alzheimer's Association is here all day, every day, through their free 24/7 helpline. One call, thousands of answers. If you have concerns about memory loss or other cognitive changes, or questions about caregiving, Alzheimer's diagnosis, and treatment or clinical trials, make that call today to 800-272-3900 or visit alz.org/WI.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter with funding by Oak Park Place Foundation.
Fantasy football season is upon us. So the question is, who's number one on your draft board this year? Is it that stud running back, that MVP quarterback? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. My draft board, it consists of players named Aaron, Matt, Ben, and Jason, anyone from the Carpet City Flooring Center team. Because when it comes to getting that new floor in your home, don't live in that fantasy world. Work with the best and the most consistent winner there is. That's Carpet City Flooring Center. The entire team there will become the best teammates you could hope for. And I know this from my own experiences. So if you're thinking about getting that new floor in your home, your office, your man cave, bedroom, or wherever, stop fantasizing about that new floor. Just make it a reality with the best team in the biz. It's Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. So rip up those mock draft boards. There's only one place you need to go when it comes to all of your flooring needs. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center for yourself today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Get ready to save with half-off deals, a great way for you to get goods and services that you will love and you don't have to pay full price. Be sure to check out all the great savings that half-off deals have to offer. There's something for everyone, so be sure to see for yourself. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
Is there a move in your future? There is a wrong way, and it usually goes like this.
Hey, Chad, where you at, man? No, it's moving day. You said you're going to be here by 10. You did what? No, what? Never mind. I know who I'm going to call.
Thank you for calling Dan the Moving Man. This is Tyler. Next time you need professional, reliable movers, do it the right way. Get Dan the Moving Man. Go to danthemovingman.com.
If you were to listen to Dan Kasper nonstop around the clock for a solid month, you'd become the king of all sports fans, desired by beautiful women, and rich beyond your dreams. I think. Try it and let's see. The Dan Kasper Show.
I said I was probably going to keep thanking everybody for showing up Friday or helping out, and well, I'm going to continue to do it because we raised about close to $10,000 for Backyard Dreams. So big thanks, huge thanks to everybody out there for showing up, golfing, sponsoring, donating, all that good stuff. Kind of running out of words to thank everybody. So Big thanks, everybody, for making it a huge success. Huge success that's gonna help out a lot of people in our community there too. So close to $10,000 we raised in just one day there for Backyard Dreams. So again, if you know of anybody or anything that could benefit with the help from Backyard Dreams, just hit us up on our website, sportstalk1051.com, and click on that Backyard Dreams tab and shoot us an email. You can nominate anybody or anything, team, individual person, organization, whatever. We don't want to pigeonhole anybody or anything. So hit us up. But again, big thanks to everybody for helping out with Backyard Dreams, and then the golf outing on Friday. Just a huge success, and there's a lot of work, but well worth it. Well worth it. Surveyor, just looking at everyone's schedule in the AFC East, the winner won't have more than 11 wins with both playing the AFC and NFC North teams. G-Man, I just noticed this. I think the texting line at the end of the show yesterday was a little weird because I just got a couple of texts that came in that has a date from yesterday. But G-Man, awesome Brewers win. That trumpet song is awesome. Also, go Brewers. That's where we're gonna have our main course, if you will. Brewers getting that walk-off victory last night, as you heard from the calls from Mr. Bob Euchre, Garrett Mitchell. How excited are you Brewers fans about the potential for Garrett Mitchell? I know it's only like 2.5 games, not even 2.5 games in, but it's a player that Brewers fans have kind of known about for the last couple of years. His story, remember when he was first drafted a couple years ago, he was the player that fell down the draft boards because he had diabetes. He has type 1 diabetes, and that was the talk why he fell down the draft boards and why he fell down to the Brewers. I don't quite understand it. Why? Just because a player has diabetes, why he fell down? I mean, it's a serious disease and such, but for him to fall down that far, I'm thankful that the Brewers were able to nab him there, and he's off to a fantastic start. He's had a great minor league career. I don't know what the future is going to be like. I guess as excited as I want to be about the potential of Garrett Mitchell. Remember, we were all kind of that same way with Keston, and Keston, kind of had his ups and downs, and hopefully he's kind of back to trending upward here. But you can't deny it. It's been an exciting start to Garrett Mitchell's early Major League Baseball career. Coming in his first game, defense, playing about an inning. Second game, he gets his first hit with his first RBI, couple RBIs, and then his second game gets a big-time home run in the 8th inning that ties up the game, that sets up Keston in the 9th to have the walk-off dinger. I mean, that's perfect. It's a perfect start. And then your family's in the crowd, and your dad's, tearing up. Man, what a moment for that family. What a surreal last couple of days it has to be for that family. Just an awesome story. And maybe, we've been talking about, and this might be the ever optimistic side of me coming out here, but we've been kind of talking about who's going to be that, that player that kind of goes on a run that kind of helps propel this Brewers team to go on a little bit of a run here, kind of lifts them up, kind of gives them maybe a little bit of a jolt. Can it be a Garrett Mitchell? I know it's just like 2 games in, and I get it. It's asking a lot. It's putting a lot on the game. Believe me, I know that. But maybe the spark of Garrett Mitchell and what he's been able to do kind of will jolt that clubhouse there a little bit. Maybe, possibly that's the optimistic look, right? But hopefully Garrett Mitchell pans out to be a fantastic player for the Brewers for years to come. I mean, I don't think he's doing anything right now at this point for the Brewers to send him back down. Stay up with the ball club for the rest of the regular season. Come on now, keep giving him chances to be that starting center fielder. And then you got Keston, who, Brandon, our good buddy Brandon Hoodberg, who's on Fridays, has been banging the table for like months now to keep Keston in that lineup. And, well, the trend has kind of been continuing with fellow Brewers fans out there. And he hit another big shot, another home run. Yes, he does still tend to strike out at a high rate, but given what this Brewers offense has been doing throughout the majority of this season and last year, kind of have to take some offense, don't you? And Keston might get some more playing time at first base moving forward. Rowdy Tellez last night left the game early due to a knee injury. He re-aggravated the knee that bothered him last year, Craig Counsell said. Counsell also saying that it scared him more than anything, but we'll see potentially how long Rowdy Tellez might be out, but maybe that gives more at-bats or more of an opportunity for Keston Hiura to go out there and, get some starts at first base and keep his bat in the lineup. Something to kind of monitor. But I would imagine that Tellez would probably miss a couple games, and I could be completely wrong there, but we'll see. But, yeah, two of the youngsters, Garrett Mitchell and Keston Hiura, helping lead the way last night for the Brew Crew. And when you look at the pitching performance from last night, too, Corbin Burnes. So the Brewers jumped out to a 3-0 lead. But then 4 runs, Corbin Burnes in the top of the fifth, and then tacked on one more in the sixth. Put the Brewers behind 5-3. When we look at what Corbin Burnes has been doing lately, so you look at this game against Pittsburgh, his last couple outings here. Pittsburgh, 6 innings, 5 earned runs. The 23rd against the Dodgers, Corbin Burnes, he picked up the loss. That's where he went 3 2/3, and he gave up 7 earned runs. That was a loss. His prior start to that one was against the Dodgers on the 18th. He did pick up the win, but also gave up 3 earned runs in 5 2/3. When we look at what Corbin Burnes has been doing in the month of August here, his ERA in the month of August so far, well, and August is going to wrap up here, but 5.61 and a 1.2 ERA, or 5.61 ERA, 1-2 record. He's given up 4 earned runs. These are his games. 4 earned runs, 1 earned run, 1 earned run, 3, 7, 5. And this is after going the month of July 2-0 with a 2.01 ERA. He's kind of gone a little bit back and forth as of late. Corbin Burnes here. Looking at his April starts, he was 1-0 with a 1.75 ERA. May, still solid. 2-2, 2.08 ERA. June, did go 3-2. His ERA was 3.45, though. Went back down in July to that 2.01. But August, it looks like he's going to finish up 1-2 with a 5.61 ERA. Opponent's batting average against him, August, it was 228. July, 173. June, 209. May, 203. April, 151. So August, by far, not the best month for Corbin Burnes so far this season. You hope if somehow the Brewers get to the postseason, heck, even before the postseason, you hope, okay, calendar flips to September here in a couple days. This is when you really got to get hot and you got to go on that run, that you kind of hope Corbin Burnes has a better month of September than what he did in August. Because if the Brewers are going to do anything, and if they're going to try to make a push, if they're going to try to get to the postseason, if they're going to try to get on a run, it's got to be led by their starting pitching staff. Starts with Corbin, Brandon Woodruff, Freddie Peralta. Those three. And then hopefully the offense follows. And, of course, the bullpen, which I'm sure that the majority of us are still a little bit nervous about. When you look at the Brewers, and this is their only, is it, I'm just kind of going through it, 1, 2. Yeah, this is their the only 3-game winning streak they've had in the month of August. Think about that. That's how bad August has been for the Brewers. They've had 1 3-game winning streak, and that's what they're on right now. They started off August losing those 3 straight to the Pirates on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Losing the series to the Reds. They did get 2 in a row against Tampa Bay to win that series. Followed it up by losing the series against the Cardinals. Split the series against the Dodgers 2-2. Lost the series against the Cubs. Lost the series against the Dodgers. Won this past series against the Cubbies. I think Brewers just want to get through August and kind of put it in the rear view mirror. But in these last 3 games on this 3-game winning streak for the Brewers, baby steps, I guess. 7 runs, 9 runs, 7 runs. Kind of looking at it in their loss against the Cubs last Friday, they put up 3. They put up 6 in the loss against the Dodgers. Then they just the 1 in that 1-10 loss. 4, 5, 5, 7. Just kind of interesting a little bit there. But the summer of George will try to be extended here a little bit with Jason Alexander getting the start for the Brewer Crew. Brewers win today. They secure another series win. 7-10 first pitch. We're all hoping for that sweep, though. And go, Giants. Knock down the Padres. Help us out, guys. Come on, West Coast. Come on, San Fran. Help out. Green and gold here a little bit. Or the blue and gold. We're going to talk some green and gold coming up here in just a couple minutes. But I don't know. You think there's a little fatigue starting in with Corbin Burns? You think there's a little bit of fatigue? Are you a little bit concerned about Corbin Burns from what you've seen in the month of August, or are you willing to be a little patient and be like, okay, let's just see what September brings? Well, he's only recorded 5, 3, 6, and 6 strikeouts in his last 4 outings too. So is the fatigue starting to catch up a little bit? Your thoughts, you can hit us up with some text, 715-830-1912. We're going to take a quick break. What is the biggest thing that you're going to be looking for with that 53-man roster that will be released today from the Packers? What do you think the biggest question is that Goody, LaFleur, and the Packers have to answer? Or what's the one thing that you're going to be kind of looking at? I threw out one of mine already. Does Mason Crosby make the 53? Or does he start the season on the pup? What's that kicking situation going to look like? I got to be honest, I don't know. They've been really quiet. Like I know Mason kicked the other day, but now with training camp over, media doesn't have the full-on access like they do in training camp practice and such. But I don't know. Like I'm starting to kind of feel like maybe Mason starts the season on the pup and they give him 4 weeks. But again, maybe it's just Green Bay playing some damn good poker right now and not tipping their cards. But what will you be looking at when that 53 drops today? Also, is Zach Tom, should he be in that starting lineup, that starting offensive line lineup? If Matt LaFleur says the 5 best will play, is Zach Tom, considering he is the highest ranked rookie in pass blocking protection in preseason, has not allowed a single pressure in pass protection. Is Zach Tom already a top 5 offensive lineman for the Packers? And if so, should he be one of the starters? Maybe over Royce Newman? Because that would probably be the most likely person that he would take the job over from. Assuming everybody is healthy. Let's make it easy and assume that Bakhtiari is healthy and Elton Jenkins is healthy. Okay? We're assuming that. But should Zach Tom be a starter? Your thoughts. Hit us up with some text, 715-830-1912, and some tweets at DANKASPER. Quick break. We'll close up the first hour already. Your thoughts on the Brewers, your thoughts on the Packers 53, thoughts on the Badger football team starting this weekend.
180!
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Raise your hand if you've taken your vehicle to a bunch of different places to get your oil changed. Too many to count, right? You could probably start a scrapbook collection of all those stickers. You know, those stickers reminding you about the next time you need to get an oil change. Well, now you have your new go-to place. And you'll never have to worry about trying to find another place for getting your oil changed. That's ASAP Used Auto Parts. See, I needed to get the oil changed in my truck. I had to get the truck ready for a trip to Green Bay so Hudson could see his first football game. And like their name says, it was done ASAP. Plus, they checked my tires and the rest of my fluids. Oil changes, tires, batteries, auto parts. ASAP Used Auto Parts does it all with the top-notch service. You can listen to me talk about ASAP Used Auto Parts for a long time, but tell you what, just experience it for yourself, all right? Because chances are you listening right now, you probably need an oil change too. Or maybe some new tires. Just give ASAP Used Auto Parts a call. 715-514-4501.
EC Moving and Storage, making life easier. Moving cross town or just moving on out. Efficient and affordable, that's what we're all about. In the Chippewa Valley since 89. Any move of any size, we don't waste time. Locally owned, we always pick up the phone. EC Moving and Storage, making life easier.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. At this very moment, there are thousands of Wisconsin families impacted by Alzheimer's disease or dementia who need support. Who do they trust? The Alzheimer's Association. Caregiving can be an emotionally, physically, and financially draining role. The Alzheimer's Association provides education, care, and support to all those facing Alzheimer's and other dementia. The Alzheimer's Association is here all day, every day, through their free 24/7 helpline. One call, thousands of answers. If you have concerns about memory loss or other cognitive changes, or questions about caregiving, Alzheimer's diagnosis, and treatment or clinical trials, make that call today to 800-272-3900 or visit alz.org/WI.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter with funding by Oak Park Place Foundation.
River Country Co-op wants to help you put some gas in your tank. It's the River Country Co-op Cenex Small Town Gas Pass Giveaway. The River Country Co-op Cenex Small Town Gas Pass Giveaway of the week is the Gilman and Jim Falls stores. All you have to do is stop on in at the Gilman and the Jim Falls Cenex store this week only to register to win a $50 gas card. No purchase necessary. Don't miss out on your chance to win some free gas. Get to these River Country Co-op Cenex stores now to enter.
Because you have high standards and won't settle for anything less, like your wife did. It's the Dan Kasper Show.
Reminder, you can head to our website, sportstalk1051.com, and start to make your picks for the Pro Football Weekly Pick'em Challenge. Just head to sportstalk1051.com, click on the Nation tab over there, and you can start to make your picks on the 31st. So today's the 30th, so tomorrow the Survivor League will open up too. So You can do that all at sportstalk1051.com. Again, click on the Nation tab and sign up. And if you do it now, once that 53 drops later on today, you'll get a Green and Gold Chalk Talk newsletter. You'll sign up for the Green and Gold Chalk Talk newsletter and get some instant reaction and analysis so you guys can continue to, maybe tell me how wrong I am and all that fun stuff. So, speaking of telling me how wrong I am all the time, good morning, C-Bomb. How you doing?
Well, good morning, El Capitano. How are you, my brother?
How's Little Rock this morning?
I will tell you what. You want me to grind my gears? It is like being firmly entrenched in Satan's underpants down here. It is so flipping hot.
Really?
I'll tell you what.
In Arkansas?
Yes.
Man,
It's like yesterday, I think it was 93 or 94, but the humidity is so flipping bad. It's like you walk outside and you're instantly sweating. It's horrible. And they say it's like this all summer, and it'll be like this until October.
Really? I never would have thought about that for Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, I also know why Brett Bielema couldn't win down here. People down here move about as fast as a sloth in the Arctic.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I've never heard that one before. That's not a bad analogy. I might have to save that one, bud. Hey, what's on your mind this morning?
I'll tell you what. First off, I didn't get to talk to you yesterday because I was traveling, but I wanted to thank you and Sports Talk for putting on that golf outing. That was a great time. It was very well put together, and I had a lot of fun. And I do have a little beef with Luke Anthony taking a video of me of my worst shot of the summer, but I also had my best hole this summer, 2 holes before that. So it was a good time. It was a great time, and I had a good time with my partner in crime. I hate to say Philly, but Philly Fan Dave was phenomenal, and Surveyor and Evil Surveyor, and the honorable one. We had a great time.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing up, guys. I appreciate it. So thanks goes to all of you. Thanks goes to all of you guys.
Yeah, well, it was a great time, and I know everybody else who golfed had a good time. So, and it's for an awesome cause, and I'm, the Chippewa Valley's lucky to have you running events like that. So that was great. And I can't wait till next year. It'll be a good time.
Definitely can't wait. So, you got to be anxious to see what that 53-man roster is going to look like today.
I am really anxious, and I'm curious to see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of talk, and the thing I'm going to be looking for is there's a lot of talk about the Packers going with 2 running backs. And I think that's asinine. And unless they're hoping that Goodson and these other guys will clear waivers and come back to them. But I think the depth in that room is great right now. I think they have to have at least 3. So I'm curious to see what they do there. And then also another thing I'd like to see if the Packers make a run at is Devon Kennard just got released by the Cardinals. And if you want a depth player for that pass rush and outside linebacker where we're in need, one of our little needs, they should go after a guy like Devon Kennard.
Mm-hmm. I saw this morning. I don't know if you saw it, but we saw yesterday that Chenault was traded by the Jaguars to the Panthers. But Field Yates from ESPN had tweeted out this morning that the Panthers had competition. Packers and Falcons were among the other teams that were talking to the Jaguars about trading for Chenault. So should that tell us anything about what the Packers feel like about their depth at wide receiver? Or is it Goody just kind of going out there and doing his biz and always trying to look to upgrade his team?
I think it might be a bit of both. And I think they're just looking at the fact that, Chenault's still pretty young. He's a veteran and he's talented. So I think he could have helped that room. But is it saying something about Watson? Is Watson fully healthy? I don't know. So we'll see.
And I know Chenault is a guy that the Jaguars kind of lined up in the backfield and did some stuff there. So, I mean, it almost seems like he would have been what I think they're going to try to have Amari Rodgers do this year. I don't know, but I just thought it was kind of interesting that, the Packers were apparently talking to the Jaguars about acquiring him, because then if you acquire him, whose job does he take?
Right. And that's another reason why you might see, you just touched on Amari Rodgers, why they might go with only 2 running backs is they might be looking at, more of that little scat back type thing with Amari Rodgers or Randall Cobb in the backfield like we saw a few years ago. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it was a little bit shocking to see that Chenault was in the discussion with the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else? Is there one other thing that you're going to be looking at when it comes to 53 today, or is that pretty much it?
For me, it's looking at the running backs, and then I want to see what they do with the offensive line as well, similar to what you were touching on earlier. There's not a lot of open roster spots on this team, so I'm curious to see if, they already we knew it was probably going to happen, but with Ty Summers getting cut the other day, is there any other surprise or any other veterans that we've seen for a few years that might be gone?
I just want to see what the plan is for Mason Crosby, since he's still technically on the PUP list.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I love Mason Crosby. He's been a phenomenal player for us for a lot of years, but I mean, he hasn't swung that leg all training camp. And the kid that they brought in, I can't even remember his name, but he's been kicking well. So, it's easy to take a kicker for granted, man. But when it comes down to, Dallas and a 53-yard kick after a penalty and hitting it again, I feel good with Crosby.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, all right, well, you stay cool down there, okay, boss?
I will certainly try. Thanks for having me, El Capitano. Have a great rest of the week.
You got it. There you go. There's C-Bomb hopping off this morning. Yeah, I saw that this morning from Field Yates. So Chenault was traded from the Jaguars to the Panthers, but Field Yates had tweeted out that the Packers were a team that was talking to the Jaguars about potentially acquiring him. Now, if that's all on the up and up and is 100% fact, that means that he's taken the job from somebody on this wide receiving group. So maybe it is a Juwan Winfrey and they still keep 7. I mean, could it have been somebody else on the wide receiving depth? I mean, Chenault was a guy that, last year with the Jaguars, or the last couple of years, they've kind of lined up in the backfield sort of thing, which we kind of saw the Packers do a little bit with Amari Rodgers in this final preseason game. And I would assume that they're going to try to do a little bit more in the upcoming regular season here. But I don't know. Thought that was kind of interesting, especially with the wide receiving group. And it could just be as simple as, hey, they're always looking to upgrade at every single position, and they believe Chenault would have been an upgrade over whoever it would have been. Probably would have been Winfrey, I would imagine, right? Unless they just still are not 100% sold on Amari Rodgers. I don't know. It's just interesting. Maybe Green Bay's going to be making some more moves. Maybe they'll do some more trades. I don't know. But does Zach Tom, does he deserve to be a top 5 offensive lineman? Does he deserve to be his top 5 offensive lineman? Right now, it's about 50-50 on the text going on. 50-50. Some of you believe that he should be. Some of you believe let him start on the bench and then get a little bit more experience and then jump into that starting lineup. That's kind of where the majority, or that's kind of where everybody's going at right now based off the text that we're getting on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. Keep those comments coming, 715-830-1912. Morning, Morgan.
Hey, Kasper. How's the week starting out?
Good. How about you?
Good. Did you ice that shoulder and recover from the Casper Open?
Yeah, it was good.
It was good?
Yeah.
I have a challenge for you guys next year.
Okay.
Okay, there's a South Carolina man that was trying to break his own record by taking a custom-built golf cart over 150 miles an hour. So.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Okay. Now, who was driving for you?
I was driving the cart.
So you're behind the wheel. This guy's name is Robbie Steen. Previously set a Guinness World Record for the fastest golf cart ever, driving over 118 miles an hour in 14. Said he's going to attempt the record again. So if you're the one behind the cart, are you on board? Are you gonna take this and see how fast you can get going?
Do you have to drive it on a golf course, or can you drive it on a track?
Well, I think you have to drive it on a track at that point, right?
Yeah, because I mean, if it's a course, no, I ain't doing that.
Well, if you spill the beer, you can't go that fast.
Or you die.
So now it's on, obviously it's going viral, YouTube, it's on socials and that kind of thing. But do you know anybody that does custom work like that like souped up vehicles, golf cart or not?
Not personally.
Because that would be your challenge for next year then, is to take it to the next level.
I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah. This guy is.
Yeah.
150 miles.
I'm not in a hurry. I don't hit them that long where I have to hurry up and get to it.
Is that the last game of the year? You told me that was it. You're gonna throw the dagger, throw the clubs after that?
Yeah, I mean it's football season now, and we got bow hunting starting up. So I don't unless something pops up. I don't.
You feel
have any
pretty good
plans.
about it? Did you feel like you had improved your game at all this year?
No, because I didn't put a lot of effort into it.
Is
I got new
golf-
clubs this year though, so
Yeah, but if you get new clubs, you should have a better game. It's like when kids get new
Well,
shoes and they can run faster.
if I ever get a membership again at a golf course, then I will.
You're gonna practice. Where does golf fall on your list of hobbies? So like say hunting's number 1.
Oh, it's top 5.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you can put more time into that.
I could, but it also costs money each time you have to go out there.
The same, yeah. What
so-
about hunting? You feeling good about that this year?
No.
You gotta have some kind of positive outlook. Take
well,
it to the
I
tree
mean, maybe
stands.
if the trail cameras would actually be a little bit better.
Not picking anything up for you?
Nope. And my trail camera is apparently dead because I haven't gotten a picture in the
Well,
last
that's
few
probably
days,
why you're
so-
not seeing anything out there then,
Well,
right?
before that, I wasn't getting anything either besides just ears of little ones.
So now you have NFL season and bow season. Is this your favorite time of year? As
Fall,
a sports
fall is
guy?
my favorite, yeah.
Okay, so how do you
Fall-
feel going into
Fall
Packers
is my
season?
favorite, but at the same time, I don't take a whole lot of days off either.
So you're not feeling good about the trail cam feedback. You're not feeling good about hunting. I have to ask, I know you don't like to make bets, but where do you feel on the Packers season?
Too early.
It's not too early.
It's
You're
too
a
early.
sports guy. You're supposed
The
to pontificate.
53
It's your
man drops
job.
today.
Yeah.
The 53 man drops today, barring, I mean, okay, the schedule's right there.
Yeah.
11 wins.
That's what you're going with?
Yep.
Plant your flag.
11
Own
or
it.
12. 11 or 12 wins.
Okay.
But yeah, win, loss, win. I'm already lost track.
You're going a dozen?
Yeah, because there's 7. Yeah, I'll go.
Commit.
dozen.
In-betweenies
I'll
or
go-
just weenies.
I'll
Call
go-
it, Casper.
I'll go 12 wins.
Okay.
I'll go 12.
We'll hold you to it.
So we'll see.
Your sports guy has spoken, Valley. Right there. There. You heard it first.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. Sports Talk 105.1 with the very latest local news.
Oh, a man is dead after going into the water at a fishing tournament in La Crosse. Police say the man went into the Black River Saturday afternoon. Fishermen in the Bassmaster Elite Tournament saw the man go in and go under, but no one's saying what led to the fall into the water. The man's not yet been identified. Looking into some other headlines that stretch to Cadott and the Dollar General, it's closed and people are not happy. But why? Well, Cadott Area Fire and Rescue ordered the store closed because it's a fire hazard. Investigators saying there are too many boxes and unsold merchandise in the store's aisles, and it could have been deadly if a fire were to break out. Yesterday, Dollar General said they've been receiving threats about the closed store as managers at the store say they're working to fix their issues and reopen as quickly as possible. We take you to the barnyard of Wisconsin's first case of West Nile in a horses in Trempealeau County. With 715 newsroom coverage, we saddle up to here's details with John DeMaster.
The state's Department of Agriculture yesterday said an unvaccinated yearling standard-bred gelding tested positive for the virus. There are no human cases of West Nile reported so far, but the state says this is the time of year when West Nile cases peak as more people head outside at dusk and dawn. I'm John DeMaster.
Well, the smell of brand new crayons, yeah, that's in the air. Back to school time. So what about Eau Claire schools? Well, they need teachers like most places, but not as badly as some communities across the state. Superintendent Michael Johnson yesterday said there are 16 open teaching jobs right now, another 40 in non-teaching positions, which is far better than some schools who are dozens or even hundreds of teachers short heading into the new school year. Johnson says here in Eau Claire, schools hired about 200 new people this summer, not saying exactly how many of those are teachers. And plenty of new belly rubs to go around. All of the rescue beagles sent to Milwaukee have found new homes. The Wisconsin Humane Society yesterday said all but 3 of the 62 dogs that came to Milwaukee in July have been adopted. There's another batch coming in. If you're curious or want to sniff out some more details about this, you can always find those online, 715newsroom.com. And let's go to auction. An Illinois auction house sold a weapon over the weekend that was used in the original Star Wars movie. They thought the DL-44 heavy blaster used by Han Solo would go for at least $500,000, but well, let's say the price tag was from a galaxy far, far away.
For a third and final time at $900,000, last call and fair warning, sold $900,000.
The sale generated attention around the globe, but let's just one more time see. We had a similar situation at a meeting here recently. There was an opportunity, Casper. Are you going to be nice to Morgan? Let's hear.
For a third and final time.
Guess not. For Sports Talk 105.1. I'm Morgan McArthur.
We'll start off the morning with clear conditions, and that's really going to take us not just through today, but really the foreseeable future, only a few passing clouds. However, today will be breezy. Winds out of the northwest could be sustained between 10 to 20 miles per hour. And that said, we could see gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour at times. Otherwise, temperatures will climb to the mid to upper 70s. Winds will calm down later on tonight as we dip to the upper 50s for our overnight low with clear conditions, and more sunshine for tomorrow with highs in the low 80s. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
The condition of the corn and soybean crops across the country didn't get any better last week, but they didn't lose much quality either. Let's take a look at some farm news this morning on Sports Talk 105.1. Corn is rated 54% good to excellent this week in the crop progress report. That's down 1% from a week ago, as 86% of the crop is now in the dough stage, 46% is dented, and 8% of the crop is now mature or safe from frost. Wisconsin and Illinois have the best-looking corn, while Kansas corn is in the toughest shape. Soybeans are rated 57% good to excellent this week. That's the same as last week, with 91% of the beans setting pods, 4% of the plants already dropping leaves around the country. And like the corn crop, Wisconsin and Illinois have the best-looking beans, with Kansas having the worst. Let's take a look at Wisconsin. Our corn is rated 76% good to excellent this week. That's actually down 1% from last week. The crop report also shows 97% of our corn has silked, 75% has reached the dough stage, and 24% of the crop has dented. The condition of our soybeans actually fell 4% in the past week, as they're now rated 74% good to excellent, with 91% of the plants setting pods, with leaves turning color on 6% of the soybeans. State farmers have also put up 82% of their oats and harvested 22% of their fall potatoes. Both crops continue to be in good to excellent condition. Third crop hay also about done, with 91% of that crop put up, and 32% of fourth crop also made, as the hay is rated 80% good to excellent. Topsoil moisture also improved in the past week. It's now 88%, adequate to surplus, 11% short, and 1% very short. That's mainly in south central Wisconsin. And the fairs this week, closest one, Minnesota State Fair in St. Paul. That's a look at some farm news this morning on Sports Talk 105.1. I'm Bob Bosold.
The Dell Technologies Labor Day event is here with up to $300 off the XPS with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Upgrade by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
Welcome to the Dan Kasper Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the show that features serious, thought-provoking sports talk and insightful sports commentary.
You knew it!
In other words, it's the show where they all talk a crap load about sports.
Let's go for it!
Now let's introduce your host, a man who lives and breathes and has a passion for sports. A man who breaks everything down in the sports world and gives you everything you need to know. Plus a bunch of stuff you probably don't need, but you'll still enjoy it.
You can't handle the truth!
Here is your host, Dan Kasper.
Prime time! Prime time!
Second hour kicking off right now on this Grind My Gears Tuesday. What's grinding your gears, family? Hit us up with some texts, 715-830-1912, some tweets, Facebook messages, all that wonderful stuff. Happy Tuesday. Good morning. Appreciate you tuning in and chiming in. Coming up, we'll get back to some more green and gold chat. And speaking of green and gold chat, that's our question of the day. What do you got to say, family? We got the poll question up on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, you can text us your responses. But after not allowing a single pressure this preseason, should Zach Tom be a starter on the Packers offensive line? You can vote on over there. The text that we kind of been getting through, it's about 50-50 right now. So we'll see we'll see how the votes go on Twitter there. See if it kind of follows some of the texts. But we'll get back to some more green and gold chats. We're going to chat some Badger football as they get ready to kick off their season this weekend. RJ Cardinal will be breaking it down for us a little over an hour from now. Today is cut down day. Well, that's kind of interesting. Because I'm following, some teams are doing their cuts right now. Bills just released tight end OJ Howard. So I know OJ Howard. If you remember, OJ Howard was formerly with the Buccaneers, but I know he's been a name over the last couple of years about some Packers fans kind of would be like, hey, that'd be an intriguing player to add. 27 years old, will be 28 in November, Alabama. But OJ Howard potentially out there. Could he? I don't know. Well, we'll see. But you're starting to see some names. I saw Josh Gordon was released by the Chiefs, and just some other stuff out there. But nothing yet for the Packers that I've seen being cut, being released. But we'll keep you posted if anything happens in the next couple of hours from here. But what are you going to be looking at when that 53 drops today? What are some of the biggest questions that you'll be looking for answers with that 53? One of mine was the whole Mason Crosby situation. Do they carry two kickers? Does Mason start the season on the PUP list? He has not missed a game in his career. I want to see this Mason Crosby question answered. And, I mean, we got other ones. We've got, the one floating out there that C-Bomb kind of highlighted too is the running back question. Do they carry two? Do they carry the three? How many wide receivers? Offensive linemen, they go 9, they go 10, they go 8. Defensive linemen, did Jack Heflin make enough of a splash in preseason to earn a job again this year? Are they comfortable maybe carrying 6 defensive linemen? Heck, could they carry 7? But remember, with all this too, that could change the next day. They'll have their 53, but maybe they see a player that's been released from another team. They're like, hey, we think that's going to be an upgrade. We're going to put a waiver claim on him. Maybe a guy like OJ Howard. I don't know. Just throwing it out there as an example. But we'll keep you posted if anything happens cut-wise throughout the next couple of hours from here. So let's do some sports nuggets of the day here. Or not. The thing just froze, so we got to restart this. See if it brings it back up. Okay, here we go. 1905, Ty Cobb made his major league batting debut with the Detroit Tigers. 1905. 1918, the New York Giants beat the Brooklyn Dodgers 1-0. The game only took 57 minutes to play. Major League Baseball would love nothing more than to probably go back to that right now. 1937, Joe Louis won a 15-round decision over Tommy Farr in his first defense of his heavyweight title. 1966, Pete Rose with the Reds hit home runs from both sides of the plate against St. Louis. We got 1987, Canada's Ben Johnson set the world record in the 100-meter race at 9.83 seconds. Johnson later lost the record due to steroid use. 2001, Ashley Martin became the first woman to play in a Division I football game. She kicked 3 extra points in the game. And in 2002, the Major League Baseball Players Union and the team owners came to an agreement that avoided a players' strike set to begin on this day. Those are just some of your sports nuggets for this morning. All right, the majority of you so far, just seeing some of the votes come in, you think Zach Tom should be a starter on that offensive line for the Packers. All right. Put him over to guard, right guard. Taking over Royce Newman, maybe, potentially. Assuming, if your number 1 unit was all healthy, Bach, Jenkins, you put Zach Tom in there, right guard. Okay. We'll get back to some more Packers talk coming up here in just a little bit. Brewers getting a walk-off win. We got a few of you chiming in on Twitter. Good to see Garrett Mitchell get his home run last night. Excited to see what he can bring to the table for the Brewers in the next few years. Go Brew Crew. Keston Hero should definitely be playing more. Just another big home run from him last night. So, yeah, it looks like a lot of you excited about the potential of Garrett Mitchell, cautiously optimistic. Seems like a lot of you too, saying that you want Keston Hiura to be playing more. I agree with all of you. And we'll see if Keston gets some more opportunities starting at first base with Rowdy Tellez last night, leaving the game due to a knee discomfort. Craig Counsell kind of downplaying it. Don't know how long he'll be out, if he'll be out, but maybe an opportunity here for Keston to get in that lineup and getting some starts over there at first base. But a lot of you in the first hour, when we were talking some Brewers, kind of recapping some of the texts here, you want to see Keston stay in this lineup, and you are excited about the potential of Garrett Mitchell. It is early for Garrett Mitchell. We're about two games in like an inning, but collects his first hit in his first start, collects his first RBI in his first start. Second start, he gets a big-time home run. Like Craig Counsell said, doesn't seem like the moments, the big-time moments, get to a guy like Garrett Mitchell. That he kind of shines in these moments. And Garrett Mitchell, if you remember, when he was drafted it was just a 2020 draft, too. It wasn't that long ago. But he slipped to the 20th overall pick in the 2020 MLB draft because of concerns over his type 1 diabetes. But just like 26 months later, is it? 26 months later, he's in the major leagues, got a home run, made a couple big plays. Yeah, Craig Counsell said, I don't think he's going to shy away from big spots. That's his personality. I think he believes he's a big leaguer. All of those traits serve you really well. And I love his response, too, Garrett Mitchell's response when he's talking about in those moments. There's a lot of visualization and thinking of wanting to be in these moments. I know when I want to be up there. That's kind of what I was thinking. Why not me? Love that mindset. Love it. So, but Keston's got 14 home runs. Going back to Keston here for a little bit. So Keston's 14 home runs. I feel like he's it's a quiet 14 home runs this year. When you look at his numbers, obviously he spent some time with the big league club this year, down in the minor leagues, back and forth. Yes, his strikeouts are up there too. But I think that's what you're going to have to deal with Keston. You're going to have the home runs, but you're going to have the strikeouts too. But it feels like he's just kind of quietly having a solid season. And maybe we need to give him a little bit more credit. Because when you look at his numbers, it's just 165 at-bats for Keston this year. But he's got those 14 home runs. He's hitting for an average of 242, which it matches his career batting average. His on-base percentage is higher this year, 346. His career is a 323. And his OPS is higher this year, 855 compared to a career 788. Now we look at he probably will match his plate appearances from last year. He's at 191. Last year was 197. So I would imagine unless something happens, knock on wood that nothing will happen. And then when you look at kind of breaking it down in the month of August, because he's been getting more opportunities finally in the month of August. He's hit 256 with 6 home runs, 319 on base, a 674 slugging. In July, August he had 43 at-bats. It doubled his at-bats than what he got in July. July he had just 21, but he hit 381 with a 480 on base and a 714 slugging. I think we got to get Keston here some more opportunities. Speaking of guys who have been playing really well as of late, and maybe we're not giving them enough credit. How about the Raptor, Brent Suter? Brent Suter kind of, I think, gets lost into the shuffle here a little bit. But when you look at his last 7 games, 8 2/3 of an innings pitched, 0 ERA, 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 8 hits. Brent Suter has been pitching extremely well as of late. Last night, tacked on 2 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs. But if you want to expand it to his last 18 innings, Brent Suter has 17 strikeouts, 3 earned runs, 1.50 ERA. After kind of starting the season too, a little bit slow, right? I mean, April, he had a 6 ERA, followed up with a 4.50 ERA in May, 3.65 ERA in June. All right, it's working down. July, 2.70. And in August, a 1.46. Brent Suter has gotten better every single month. Again, it's another guy that I think is kind of getting a little bit lost in the shuffle. Maybe not, we're focusing so much, and I understand it. We're focusing so much on the negatives when it comes to the Brewers, the fall, right? Month of August, the fall, the trades, the non-trades. But there's been a couple players that have kind of, quietly been having some solid seasons. Christian Yelich has been playing really well as of late. We highlighted that the other day. Obviously, Keston right now. We're excited about Garrett Mitchell being up there. He's made a couple big plays. Brent Suter's been pitching well, too. It's kind of the opposite of Corbin Burns right now. Maybe a little bit of concern about Corbin Burns and his fatigue because his last couple outings, it hasn't really been Corbin Burns-like pitching. But Brent Suter he's been pretty darn solid. So tip of the cap, I think, to Brent Suter right now. Brewers will be back at it tonight. They get the win. They secure a series win against the Pirates. I moved the calendar here in the studio. I want to redo the studio here. We got a bunch of stuff hanging up on the wall, so I'm trying to do a little redecorating. I'm going to take down a lot of stuff and maybe try to make it so clustered looking. I don't know if anybody's actually even seen the studio or such, but I'm going to try to clean it up here a little bit, if you will. But when you look at it, this is only 2 more games against the Pirates so far this year. So the Brewers will try to secure the series win tonight, 7-10. Freddie Peralta's tomorrow. Jason Alexander is tonight. And then Freddie Peralta hopefully going for a sweep tomorrow in the getaway game before the Brewers start a little West Coast trip with 4 games at Arizona, 3 games at Colorado before the return home with that doubleheader against the Giants in Cincinnati. But we got a couple weeks yet. I mean, the Brewers, again, it's kind of like a record. Take advantage of these games. Take advantage of these matchups with the Pirates, with Arizona coming up, Colorado, Cincinnati. Because 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from today, starts that 2-game series against the Cardinals that leads into that series with the Yankees, that leads into that series with the Mets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in 9 days. You get the bye, or you get the bye. I got football in my mind. You get the off day on the 15th before you start that New York series. But off day there. But that's going to be a stretch where could it define whether the Brewers are going to make the postseason or not? And when you look at Brewers right now, their next off day isn't until the 12th. They got a lot of innings and a lot of baseball games to be played before then. Finishing up this series against the Pirates, 4 straight against Arizona, 3 straight against Colorado, doubleheader against the Giants, 3 against Cincinnati, They get 2 off days the week of September 12th, that Monday and that Thursday. But take advantage of it now. It's going to be a grind. That's the thing, is like September is going to be a grind. Only 3 total off days, 2 coming in 1 week. Power through it. Gotta dig deep, get through it. You're probably worn out. You got some fatigue. You've played a long summer, played a long season. But September, guys, gotta grind it out and get it done and finish the job and put yourself in a position to hopefully play some extra baseball games in October for the postseason. But it's gonna be a grind. You gotta take advantage of these upcoming series. You gotta win these series. Oh, we got some more cuts. Not Green Bay related. I'm just kind of seeing some other one. Not really. I get Danny Shelton, a defensive tackle. I don't think Green Bay needs a defensive tackle. But the initial guys who, like we've been saying, initial 53-man roster, it's going to change. It's going to change at some point, but it's going to be a big day. I know we're so focused on the 53-man roster, but also, factor into the practice squad, because those are guys that can be elevated to play in a pinch. So we got to focus on that there a little bit too. Don't want to discredit the practice squad players. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll chat some more football with Joe. But a quick update on the poll question. Still, majority view now, 80% saying yes, Zach Tom should be a starter on this Packers offensive line after not allowing a single pressure this preseason. Assuming everybody's healthy. Assuming everybody is healthy, would you agree with that? If you don't have Twitter, you can text us 715-830-1912. All right, quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
Fantasy football season is upon us. So the question is, who's number 1 on your draft board this year? Is it that stud running back, that MVP quarterback? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. My draft board, it consists of players named Aaron, Matt, Ben, and Jason. Anyone from the Carpet City Flooring Center team. Because when it comes to getting that new floor in your home, don't live in that fantasy world. Work with the best and the most consistent winner there is. That's Carpet City Flooring Center. The entire team there will become the best teammates you could hope for. And I know this from my own experiences. So if you're thinking about getting that new floor in your home, your office, your man cave, bedroom, or wherever, stop fantasizing about that new floor. Just make it a reality with the best team in the biz. It's Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. So rip up those mock draft boards. There's only one place you need to go when it comes to all of your flooring needs. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center for yourself today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. At this very moment, there are thousands of Wisconsin families impacted by Alzheimer's disease or dementia who need support. Who do they trust? The Alzheimer's Association. Caregiving can be an emotionally, physically, and financially draining role. The Alzheimer's Association provides education, care, and support to all those facing Alzheimer's and other dementia. The Alzheimer's Association is here all day, every day, through their free 24/7 helpline. One call, thousands of answers. If you have concerns about memory loss or other cognitive changes, or questions about caregiving, Alzheimer's diagnosis and treatment, or clinical trials, make that call today to 800-272-3900 or visit alz.org/WI.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter with funding by Oak Park Place Foundation.
Fall is fast approaching. Football, leaves falling, cooler nights and mornings, and hunting season. It's time to get ready for hunting season, people. You've waited all winter, spring, and summer for this, and Tilden Gun has been waiting for you. You looking for a shotgun for turkey, duck, or bird hunting? How about a new rifle for deer or bear hunting? Tilden Gun has the best selection in the area and at the best prices. Tilden Gun is your best spot to get ready for the upcoming 2022 hunting season. I know from experience. I've gotten my new turkey shotgun and my new deer rifle from Tilden Gun. And I ain't kidding when I said it was the best price that I found. And you want to talk about the selection? Tilden Gun easily had the best selection of firearms. I can't tell you how many people have told me that Tilden Gun was the only place that could find the certain firearm they were looking for. So what the heck are you waiting for? Visit tildengun.com to look for your new hunting firearm today.
Thinking about buying or building a home this year? Hi, I'm Ben from Merchants Bank. When you work with us, you have the support of the whole Merchants team. We share your home dreams and we'll do everything we can to see you reach your goal of a new home. And that starts by making things easy, like being able to apply for your mortgage when it fits your schedule. I'm just a phone call or email away to answer your questions. Start now at merchantsbank.com and let's achieve your goals together. Equal housing lender, subject to approval.
He may not be the smartest sports talk host, but darn it, he gives 110% every time. Now here's your host, Dan Kasper.
You can nominate a local athlete as part of our new Spotlight series brought to you by our good friends at Carpet City Flooring Center. All you have to do is head to sportstalk1051.com, click on that Nation tab, and if you got somebody or maybe a team, individual, don't matter. We're pretty open with this, but tell us why. Send us that nomination to our website, sportstalk1051.com. Big thanks to Carpet City Flooring Center for helping us shine a spotlight on some of our local athletes and local teams. Be a lot of fun, kind of telling the stories of some of the local, heck, even coaches too. We'll have some fun with this. So again, sportstalk1051.com. Just click on that Nation tab, and you'll see it's right up there. Quick update on the poll. We still are the majority saying Zach Tom should, after allowing not a single pressure throughout the whole preseason. The majority of you, 85.7% of you, saying yes, he should be a starter on this offensive line. A couple texts to recap from it. If Matt LaFleur is true to his word that the 5 best will play, then Zach Tom should play, or should be a starter, excuse me. So, all right, we'll continue some more Green and Gold chat with Joe DeGuano. He's joining us right now. Joe, 53-man roster due by 3 p.m. today. What are a couple of things that you'll be watching for when that 53 drops later today?
You know what, Jason, I'm watching that receiver room because, I count 7 with Lazard, Watson, Dobbs, Cobb, Rodgers, Watkins, and Torrey. And the question is, what do you do with Juwan Winfrey, who, again, Aaron Rodgers has praised up and down this camp, and it's very reminiscent to the Whitewater Jesus, Jake Kummerow, when Rodgers said that, he wasn't involved in decisions, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't know how the Green Bay Packers can keep eight wide receivers. I just really don't. So that's one area I'm looking at. And then you look at the outside linebacker situation. And obviously you've got Rashawn Gary, you've got Preston Smith, but Enikbare has, in my opinion, catapulted to that 3 position. But then what do you do with 4 and 5? Is it Garvin? Is it Hamilton? Who's going to be there? Is it typical A? Do they go out and get a veteran to add to that room? So I think that's an interesting spot. It was interesting that the Packers already let go of Ty Summers,
So it looks like your inside backers are going to be Campbell, Walker, Barnes, and McDuffie. But again, there's just a couple of those spots, and Bobby Tunyon got some team time, so not just individuals. So what happens in that tight end room is another thing to look at, because if Bobby Tunyon is ready to go, do you go with 3 tight ends with Tunyon, Lewis, and DeGuara, and does a Tyler Davis get cut? So some interesting decisions today, I think, for Goody and that war room, so to speak, and also, keeping an eye on who else gets cut from other teams, and can you fortify maybe that safety depth, or can you find that outside linebacker? So it's going to be interesting, but I think those are kind of the main areas of focus that I'd be looking at today.
Dan Graziano had tweeted earlier this morning that the Packers were a team that was talking to the Jaguars about Shenault before he was traded to the Packers. If that is on the up and up, whose job or jobs would he have taken if the Packers were able to acquire him?
That would have been an interesting trade, and I know the Packers had interest in him at the draft. I think you'd be looking at an Amari Rodgers type of situation, because they're not going to let go of Randall Cobb. They're just not going to. So I think, he plays that same type of position. He plays that same type of receiver. So yeah, I think that probably would have meant something to Amari Rodgers. But it also tells me that Green Bay is still actively looking to upgrade certain positions, and I applaud that. I think again, and I think this staff has shown over the last couple of years, whether it be a Russell Douglas, whether it be a Devondre Campbell, that they're going to continually actively shop around to look at other teams' waiver wires to see who they might acquire. So it still wouldn't surprise me at all if Goody pulls something off before 3 o'clock today, and you see a new veteran in that Packer locker room.
What's your, if you had to make a bold prediction, what do you make of the Mason Crosby situation?
Ooh, you know what? I'm going to go with the fact that that maybe today they get down to 53. They maybe keep an extra kicker at this point in time. I still think Mason Crosby is going to be the kicker for the Green Bay Packers this year, but depending on how soon they can get him out there, you might see 2 kickers to start the season. It might be a 1-game thing, but I would say that you could see a situation like that. And got to say, looking back over some of the games, I know it's such a small part of the game, but it can be such a big part of the game. The job that Jack Coco has done as the snapper, I think has solidified that position a little bit, as has Pat O'Donnell. So I think the operation is much more secure. Just hopefully Mason Crosby is healthy enough to run it.
Joe DeGuano joining us here this morning. Packers will have to get down to their 53-man roster by 3 o'clock today. Are you buying some of the talk out there that Green Bay should only carry 2 running backs initially on their 53-man roster?
I think if you want to go with 7 wide receivers and 4 tight ends, I think you have to. I mean, the math you can only have so many players. And so if you want to keep 7 wide receivers, if you want to keep those 4 tight ends, I think very much so you're looking at Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and you saw it in some of the preseason games with Amari Rodgers actually lining up in the backfield. And so do you say that okay, Rodgers essentially and Cobb maybe become that 3rd running back if needed be? Now, again, it looks like the Packers have some depth there, and obviously we saw in the last preseason game that they've got some guys who I think could be NFL players. But there's only so many roster spots, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So when you look at that, if you're going 11 with your wide receivers and your tight ends, you just absolutely can't carry 3 running backs.
Looking at, I saw, OJ Howard was released, and that was a guy that, I know Packers fans for the last couple of years has kind of talked about, hey, could that be an option? What do you think about OJ Howard as a potential, piece for this Packers offense?
Again, everything in that tight end position depends on big number 85, Bobby Tunyon. If he is ready to play game 1, I don't think you need to make the move. if you have question marks at all, because I just don't think Tyler Davis is the tight end that can stretch the field and really create something for this offense. When you look at DeGuara, who's more of an H-back, Mercedes Lewis, love Big Dog, but he is your blocking tight end. If Bobby Tunyon has a setback, if he's not ready to go, then yeah, I think you got to look at that position. I think it's going to tell a lot about where Tunyon is if Green Bay makes a move today to add a tight end, because I think that's going to tell you that Bobby Tunyon isn't ready to go. My bet is, though, with him starting team activities this week, my bet is that 85 is starting tight end against Minnesota in a week and a half.
So when we look at, I just saw that Devontae Cross, the safety, was released by the Packers. So it's starting. It's officially starting right now. But the other part in this whole thing too, I think, Joe, we're so focused on the 53. That practice squad is going to be very important, I think, for the Packers here too. So, I would argue that, while we're so focused on the 53, don't dismiss, and I'm not just saying you, I'm just telling everybody else out there, that practice squad, just the importance that this is going to have for this team throughout the season because of the, last second elevations and that sort of thing. Has the importance of practice squad in your mind changed for you the last couple of years? We know it has for the NFL teams out there, but I mean, as fans, should we kind of, start to pay more attention to who's on these practice squads because how the importance of these squads have changed over the last couple of years?
100% right, Captain. And you got to look at the practice squad almost as, in baseball terms, and we're seeing now what Garrett Mitchell's doing for the Brewers. It's almost kind of a AAA farm club that you're building there. And with the flexibility, which I think the NFL got it right. And I know it was COVID-based, but I think the NFL got it right. And I think to get through a 17-game season and with the injuries, inevitable injuries that happen in football, to have a practice squad that you've got some flexibility on now, I think is critical. So, we all talk about things that change because of COVID, whether or not, in the real world, business world, sports world, whatever the case may be. I think that's one of the things in the NFL that will be here to stay, and I think it's a really good thing. And again, yes, that goes back to the ability to draft and develop. And you're talking about it. I heard you earlier talking about Dak Tom. You're looking at developing offensive linemen, and some of those offensive linemen are going to be on the practice squad. So no question, it carries much more weight than it ever has.
What do you make of this Elton Jenkins thing? I mean, it's kind of been a weird couple days. He's at practice on Sunday, but he's part of the rehab group. He's at practice yesterday. Initially doesn't want to talk to anybody in the locker room. Then he does seek out a couple reporters and talks. It's not related to his knee. It's not related to his contract. He was wearing a brace on his shoulder, but he says it's not that. It's been kind of weird. Or am I making too much of this, Joe? It just seems kind of a weird situation these last 48 hours.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation on Packer Social that this was, contract related. I really don't think it was. I don't think Elton Jenkins is making a statement or anything coming off of an ACL injury. I think, there's probably something there. It could be related to the knee. I mean, obviously, there's something going on. I don't think it's contractually, and I don't think Green Bay wants to set off a lot of alarms on this one. But it could be any number of things. I'm not buying into the conspiracy theorists out there. And again, Packer social media was going off the charts talking about the contract extension. And I mean, could it be a little bit of where to play Elton Jenkins? Because that will affect his next contract. Absolutely, that could play in. But I think it could be much ado about nothing. And until we get a little bit more clarity to speculate, just really don't see gaining any insight from that. So at this point in time, we'll see what happens the rest of this week and as we get prepared for game number 1 against the Vikings.
Joe DeGuano joining us this morning here, chatting some green and gold before we know the 53-man roster. And I think it's key to note, too, it's the, quote, initial. Because I wouldn't be surprised, Joe, like tomorrow or on Thursday, they've already made a couple more moves because, maybe they picked up somebody off of waivers from another team and then they got to cut somebody that they kept under 53. So whatever this 53-man roster is, I would expect it to look not completely different, but a couple of different positions to look completely different in just a couple of days. And one of those, and you kind of highlighted, I would think is the safety position. To me, that's the hardest one to try to figure out where the depth is going to come at that safety position outside of Adrian Amos and Darnell Savage.
Yeah, no doubt. And the fact that Sean Davis and Darwin Levitt have been practicing now, and so and we all know that Levitt is a Versace guy coming over from the Raiders from a special team standpoint. So I think again, just like some of the other situations, Bobby Tunyon, et cetera, I think it's going to come down to what the injuries look like, and is Darnell Savage back to 100%? Is Levitt going to be able to play through that shoulder situation? And so, I think that's a position when I look at the depth, and I really start saying, okay, Adrian Amos, Darnell Savage have played a lot of snaps the last couple of years, and they've been very fortunate. So when that streak ends, can Green Bay put out a safety out on the field that they can trust out there? And I go back to 2010, and a lot of Packer fans forget this, that Charlie Peppera actually got the majority of the starts in the secondary that year, and so they had somebody that there wasn't a huge drop-off that didn't derail their Super Bowl chances. And that's just a critical position. It's a critical position, especially if you're going to take chances with those cornerbacks. You've got to have safeties back there that can clean up any mistakes. And so, yeah, that's a position I look at and I say, if there's somebody out there that has NFL starting experience, there's no question I give them a look at that third or fourth safety.
Did Jack Heflin do enough to make this ball club, and would the Packers actually carry 6 defensive linemen, even though they're a 3-4 defense?
Yes, absolutely. I think your defensive linemen are going to be Clark, Lowry, Reed, Wyatt, Slayton, and Heflin. And actually, there's a couple of guys going back to the practice squad. Ford could be one of those guys that gets to the practice squad. Also, the other Slayton, Chris Slayton, he's played really well. So, I think TJ Slayton makes the 53. I think Chris Slayton is one of those guys that gets put on the practice squad. But Jack Heflin, everyone said he's just another Tyler Lancaster. I'm not buying it. I think Jack Heflin has a much higher ceiling than Tyler Lancaster ever had. And so, yeah, I think he's definitely played on this team. And also going back to the Goody way of acquiring guys, under the radar guys, I'm going to say this: Jaron Reed might be one of the biggest off-season acquisitions for this team, and that includes the draft class.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this defensive line depth, Joe. I mean, them, and I think the depth at inside linebacker. I don't know the last time we had this, maybe since the 90s with that defensive line of White and Dotson and the inside linebackers of Kuntz and Brian Williams and all those guys. I'm excited to see that front seven.
Yeah, I would equate it. I thought that 2010 team, from a defensive line perspective, with B.J. Raji and Ryan Pickett and Cullen Jenkins, I thought that was a really good defensive line. So I would say, from a defensive line standpoint, I'm most confident in it since that last Super Bowl run. And again, even Howard Green, late season acquisition, who really did create that turnover, that game-changing turnover early on with Nick Collins with the pick six. And so, yeah, 100%, I'm right there with you. And the thing about it is you're reading this week about Devontae Wyatt, about how he's had a quiet preseason, and the fact that he went out to lunch with 12, and that helped build his confidence. And so when you've got a number one draft choice, and again, Devontae Wyatt has certainly flashed, but he's just not been consistent. And I will tell you, that is the story for a lot of defensive linemen. And so to say, you know what, Devontae Wyatt right now arguably is probably maybe fourth or fifth on the depth chart, that says something about the depth of this team. And very excited about moving Kenny Clark around and what Jaron Reed means to that. And again, Dean Lowry has done nothing but continue to improve. And again, he's a guy all off season, and last couple of years we said, he's going to have to be cut. Now he's probably one of your better defensive players.
Mm-hmm. All right, Joe, last question. Do you have any bold predictions you want to make for today with Cut Down Day?
It's not bold. I think we talked about the tackle position, Caleb Jones, Zach Tom, obviously, and I heard you talk about it. Zach Tom could very easily be a starter there. I think the boldest prediction I go with is that the Green Bay Packers, against probably some other people's wishes, go with only 2 running backs. I just don't see how they can keep 3 if they want to keep, and because I do see them keeping 7 wide receivers. I do not see them keeping 8. And so I do think a guy like a Juwan Winfrey might get cut. And so it's going to be interesting there. But I think 2 running backs and 7 wide receivers is how this thing shakes out.
As hard as it is to figure out this 53, I'd rather be in this situation because that means you probably got a pretty solid team when you're trying to figure out these last couple of spots there, Joe. So
no question. And you know what? Maybe Goody turns one of these hard cuts into a trade, like he already has done with Cole Van Lannon. And so maybe someone has shown enough this offseason to merit some trade consideration. And so maybe he's able to pull something out. But yeah, a couple of tough decisions. Most of the roster's set. A couple of tough decisions. And I think really it's going to be how do the tight wide receiver and running back room shape up?
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right. That means we're getting closer to the actual games. Appreciate the time this morning, Joe. And we'll catch up next week looking at this 53 and, well, talking about a game too. That'll be exciting.
There you go, brother. It is here, man, and it is time. So excited, looking forward to it. Also, big shout out to the 2-0 Eau Claire Memorial Abe's. Very impressive start to the season. And again, if you're not busy, Thursday night, doubleheader, freshman football, Eau Claire Memorial, Eau Claire North, out at Carson Park.
All right. Good stuff, buddy. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Take care, Captain.
You got it. There you go. There's Joe joining us here for a little bit. We're going to take a quick break and then finish up this second hour. Keep those picks coming. Should Zach Tom be on this offensive line? Coming up just past 8 o'clock, we'll continue our NFL preview series. We're going to take a look at the AFC East. Besides the Bills, is there another playoff team in this division?
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Football season is here, and if you're like me, it's got me thinking about the good old days. Friday night lights, touchdowns, cool fall weather, and those old sports injuries. Let me ask you a quick question. Are you still dealing with some pain from those old sports injuries? Is that pain still bothering you today? Let's change that. Start living that pain-free life. And you can accomplish that with the help from Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. To start living that pain-free life today, visit cvosm.com to get started.
The VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue in Eau Claire, where breakfast is served 7 days a week, 7 to 11 a.m. Make sure to come on Wednesdays for great specials on burgers and wings. And if you're looking for a Friday fish fry, look no further. Try the VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue. After the Friday fish fry, stage karaoke from 9 to 1 a.m. Sundays from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m., the DJ plays your favorite oldies hits. VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue in Eau Claire, where no one does more for veterans and their community.
Service Master of Chippewa Valley is your local expert when it comes to fire and water damage, carpet and air duct cleaning, mold remediation, and trauma. They're when you need them, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Trust comes in the yellow truck. Learn more at ServiceMasterChippewaValley.com.
Interested in an inspiring and fun way to help veterans in your community? Join Tee It Up for the Troops Friday, September 9th at Hickory Hills Golf Course. This military charity golf tournament in Eau Claire helps to support combat veterans and their families. Get your foursome registered along with cart, breakfast, and dinner. Local proceeds to benefit the Chippewa Valley Veterans Tribute. Join Tee It Up for the Troops Friday, September 9th at Hickory Hills Golf Course. For more info, call 715-878-4543 or go to golfhickoryhills.com.
Is there a move in your future? There is a wrong way, and it usually goes like this.
Hey, Chad, where you at, man? No, it's moving day. You said you were going to be here by 10. You did what? No. What? Never mind. I know who I'm going to call.
Thank you for calling Dan the Movie Man. This is Tyler. Next time you need professional, reliable movers, do it the right way. Get Dan the Moving Man. Go to danthemovingman.com.
Staples has everything for school at great prices. So this year you won't go back to school. You'll be ready to move forward and master 5th grade math.
I can't do this. It's impossible.
Not you, Dad, your daughter. Staples will help her move forward.
Right.
Right now, Staples one-subject notebooks are just 35 cents each. Plus, during the backpack clearance event, you'll save up to 50% on select backpacks, lunch bags, and water bottles. Staples, this year we're not going back. We're going forward to school. In-store only and 9-3 limit 30 on notebooks.
More than the scores. More than the news. It's Sports Out the Squeaker. The Dan Kasper Show.
All right, we only got about 5 minutes here. Kavion Ento has been released by the Packers. So doing a quick little, let's see, what's the 53-man roster prediction here. Still good. We're still good. I didn't have Ento on there, so we're still good right now. Nope. All right, fingers crossed this stays there. So we'll keep you posted if anything else kind of breaks throughout the morning with these cut downs and such. But Kavion Ento, he's been with the team since 2019. So I don't know if I would see him back on the practice squad. He might try to see if he can go somewhere else, or maybe the Packers are just maybe looking to move on too. But that's the thing too. A lot of these players, remember, even though that they're cut, they still might stick around town and be a part of this practice squad. That, as we've seen throughout the last few years, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Remember, Robert Tonyan, look where he's at right now. He started off in the practice squad. Alan Lazard, for crying out loud. You know, there's a couple of key players that are a part of this Packers offense that started their careers by being on the practice squad. And you got Alan Lazard as wide receiver number 1 and Robert Tonyan as tight end number 1. Just grinding it through. So that's not the end of the road for some of these players if they're on the practice squad. All right, so coming up next hour, we will kick it off first by continuing our NFL preview series. We're going to take a look at the AFC East. We looked at the NFC East yesterday, so we're going to look at the AFC East today, assuming that everybody is going to pick the Buffalo Bills to win the division. Unless you don't think they are and you can make the case for somebody else, I want to hear from you, okay? But assuming that Buffalo is going to win the division that we all agree with, is there another team in this division that will make the postseason? Can the Patriots go back to the postseason? Will they repeat what they did last year? Could the Dolphins make that leap? Are the Jets going to turn things around this year? What do you think? Yay or nay? A second team from the AFC East making the postseason. So we'll hit that up right before we catch up with our good buddy, Mr. R.J. Cardinal, Badger analyst from the zone in Madison, as we get set for kickoff for the Badger football team this weekend. Labor Day weekend, college football, tradition, all around there, baby. So the whole week 0. Do you call it week 0 or are you calling it week 1? It's like that whole NCAA March Madness bracket thing, right? It's confuses the hell out of me. But anyways, doesn't matter because Badger didn't play. and Nebraska lost. So we'll focus on this weekend. Shout out to Christian Yelich on Twitter this morning. So I didn't see it, but apparently at the on the scoreboard at the Brewers game yesterday. So anybody who's gone to a Brewers game, they will kind of do some like shout outs like happy birthday, happy anniversary, blah, blah, blah. One of them was, Mark, your friendship means the world to me. Let's not wreck it. All right, that's interesting. Christian Yelich tweeting out, down 2 in the 8th inning. The dugout looked up, saw this, and said, let's win one for Mark. We got you, man. Fantastic. Has anybody ever put a message on one of those big boards at any sporting event? Has anybody ever done that before? And if so, what did you do? What did you say? Is there anybody out there willing to say that they even threw out a proposal on a scoreboard? Or would they? Maybe you're not married yet, but you're contemplating it. I want to know if anybody out there has done some like awesome messages on the boards, if they've gotten anything on there. Okay. Don't be shy. I know there's probably a couple of you listening right now that have done that. So let me know. Share your story with the world. Okay? Share it with the rest of us. We want to hear it. Quick update on the question of the day poll. After not allowing a single pressure this season, should Zach Tom be a starter on the Packers offensive line? 88.9% of you saying yes, that he should. I'll give you my answer coming up next hour. A little bit of a tease there. All right, shot clock's going to cut me off here, and the Oscar music's going to start off. So, again, we'll kick off the third and final hour, continuing our NFL division preview series, hitting up the AFC East. Is there a second team, if we assume Buffalo is just going to win this division, is there a second team that you think can make it a little bit difficult on Buffalo or can make the postseason? And then Badger football chat after that. Badger sports chat after that with RJ Cardinal. 2 in, 1 to go. Quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. Sports Talk 105.1 with the very latest local news.
Oh, a man is dead after going into the water at a fishing tournament in La Crosse. Police say the man went into the Black River Saturday afternoon. Fishermen in the Bassmaster Elite Tournament saw the man go in and go under, but no one's saying what led to the fall into the water. The man's not yet been identified. Looking into some other headlines that stretch to Cadott and the Dollar General, it's closed and people are not happy. But why? Well, Cadott Area Fire and Rescue ordered the store closed because it's a fire hazard. Investigators saying there are too many boxes and unsold merchandise on the store's aisles, and it could have been deadly if a fire were to break out. Yesterday, Dollar General said they've been receiving threats about the closed store as managers at the store say they're working to fix their issues and reopen as quickly as possible. We take you to the barnyard of Wisconsin's first case of West Nile in a horses in Trempealeau County. With 715 newsroom coverage, we saddle up to here's details with John DeMaster.
The state's Department of Agriculture yesterday said an unvaccinated yearling standard-bred gelding tested positive for the virus. There are no human cases of West Nile reported so far, but the state says this is the time of year when West Nile cases peak as more people head outside at dusk and dawn. I'm John DeMaster.
Well, the smell of brand new crayons, yeah, that's in the air. Back to school time. So what about Eau Claire schools? Well, they need teachers like most places, but not as badly as some communities across the state. Superintendent Michael Johnson yesterday said there are 16 open teaching jobs right now, another 40 in non-teaching positions, which is far better than some schools who are dozens or even hundreds of teachers short heading into the new school year. Johnson says here in Eau Claire, schools hired about 200 new people this summer, not saying exactly how many of those are teachers. And plenty of new belly rubs to to go around. All of the rescue beagles sent to Milwaukee have found new homes. The Wisconsin Humane Society yesterday said all but 3 of the 62 dogs that came to Milwaukee in July have been adopted. There's another batch coming in. If you're curious or want to sniff out some more details about this, you can always find those online, 715newsroom.com. And let's go to auction. An Illinois auction house sold a weapon over the weekend that was used in the original Star Wars movie. They thought the DL-44 heavy blaster used by Han Solo would go for at least $500,000, but well, let's say the price tag was from a galaxy far, far away.
For a third and final time at $900,000, last call and fair warning, sold $900,000.
The sale generated attention around the globe, but let's just one more time see. We had a similar situation at a meeting here recently. There was an opportunity, Casper. Are you going to be nice to Morgan? Let's hear.
For a third and final time.
Guess not. For Sports Talk 105.1. I'm Morgan MacArthur.
We'll start off the morning with clear conditions, and that's really going to take us not just through today, but really the foreseeable future, only a few passing clouds. However, today will be breezy. Winds out of the northwest could be sustained between 10 to 20 miles per hour. And that said, we could see gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour at times. Otherwise, temperatures will climb to the mid to upper 70s. Winds will calm down later on tonight as we dip to the upper 50s for our overnight low with clear conditions, and more sunshine for tomorrow with highs in the low 80s. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue in Eau Claire, where breakfast is served 7 days a week, 7 to 11 a.m. Make sure to come on Wednesdays for great specials on burgers and wings. And if you're looking for a Friday fish fry, look no further. Try the VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue. After the Friday fish fry, stay for karaoke from 9 to 1 a.m. Sundays from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m., the DJ plays your favorite oldies hits. VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue in Eau Claire, where no one does more for veterans and their community.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Welcome to the Dan Kasper Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the show that features serious, thought-provoking sports talk and insightful sports commentary.
You knew it!
In other words, it's the show where they all talk a crap load about sports.
Let's go for it!
Now let's introduce your host, a man who lives and breathes and has a passion for sports. A man who breaks everything down in the sports world and gives you everything you need to know. Plus a bunch of stuff you probably don't need, but you'll still enjoy it.
You can't handle the truth!
Here is your host, Dan Kasper.
Prime time! Prime time!
All right, here we go. Final hour kicking off on this Grind My Gears Tuesday. Anything grinding your gears, people? Hit us up. All right, hit us up with some texts. 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line over there. Where are we at here? Kind of looking at nothing really new on there. So, okay, interesting. I saw Pat McAfee tweeting out, love this retired life, no trail to follow, a great group of folks around me, enjoying it all. Our YouTube show is the coolest stage of life I've had. When I look back on it, being licensed simulcast, nothing changes with the show, our business, or current partners. I'm excited for whatever's next for the good of the show. More announcements coming. So I'm assuming that maybe you can't watch his show on, can't watch it on YouTube anymore, or what's the deal here? I'm not quite sure. All right, well, whatever. So, anyways, okay, or maybe he's not on Sirius anymore. Oh, maybe he's not on Sirius XM anymore. That's what is going on. All right, if anybody else knows, let me know. Okay, trying to follow along here, but interesting. Oh, okay. Thanks, Big Spence. From what I heard and found out the hard way yesterday, he's no longer on Sirius XM. Really interesting. Maybe we'll have to get him on here, huh? Yeah, can't afford that. So, all right. let's kick it off. Let's speaking of football, let's kick off our AFC or our NFL division preview series, looking at the AFC East. AFC East. So, yesterday we looked at the NFC East. Majority of you, by the way, on the poll question picked the Eagles to win the division. Cowboys finished second, and then there were the Giants and Washington. Although we had some votes for over there. But the question I want to throw out to you when it comes to the AFC East, people, is there another team besides the Buffalo Bills that you think will make the postseason? And maybe if you don't think the Buffalo Bills will make the postseason, I want to hear from you too. Give me the reason why you don't think Buffalo. Everybody's high on Buffalo. Vegas is high on Buffalo. Buffalo is the odds-on favorite or let's say, I know Tampa Bay is like the highest in the NFC, but Buffalo is like everybody's like favorite pick to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl this year. Josh Allen is a betting favorite to win the NFL MVP. I mean, everybody's on the wagons, the Buffalo Bills wagons. They're circling the wagons on the Bills. So if there is another team out there that you are like, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Patriots go back to the postseason this year? Do you think the Dolphins make a jump and can get in there? What about the Jets? Remember, Buffalo was shaky a little bit last year too. 11-6, finishing 11-6. But let's start with the Jets, because I'm going to work my way from the bottom up. So it tells you I think the Jets will finish fourth. Although the biggest thing to me with the Jets is going to be the quarterback. And that you could say that for a lot of teams. And there's a couple of other teams here in this division too that it's going to be dependent on the quarterback. But I mean, Zach Wilson, when he does get on the field, are we going to see Zach Wilson take a step this year? Are we going to see glimpses that Zach Wilson is the long-term starter for the New York Jets? Is he the guy? Is he the guy that can lead the Jets back to the postseason? It starts with Zach Wilson when that knee gets healthy and he gets on the field. They drafted Breece Hall at running back. They love him. Elijah Moore. They've got him over there. They got Garrett Wilson. Corey Davis. He's got some weapons on the outside. Tyler Conklin's at tight end. They brought in Dwayne Brown to play a left tackle, having some injuries on the offensive line. George Fant moving back to right tackle. There's some intriguing receiving options. They got some youngster, Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman also in the running back room as of now. But on offense, to me, Zach Wilson, and can Matt LaFleur's brother, Mike, take another step this year as an offensive play caller? Defensively, when you're looking at it, last year they suffered some injuries. C.J. Mosley's back this year. They got Quan Alexander they brought in. Carl Lawson, he's back. Quinnen Williams, Solomon Thomas. Names you probably recognize. Sauce Gardner. They've got names, but can they stay healthy on the defensive side? I think if they could stay healthy, I think the Jets will win more games than what they did last year. They went 4-13 last year. I think the Jets could go 6-7 wins this year. But to me, it's going to be Zach Wilson and health. And now you could say, well, for crying out loud, you could say that about every other team in the NFL, quarterback play and health. And you're right. But the Jets, I got to imagine, Jets fans out there, I want to be something to be cheering about. They want something to be excited about. I am a big fan of Robert Saleh, the head coach. I hope he goes out there and succeeds as a head coach. I'm a big fan of his. But to me, the biggest question surrounding this Jets team is going to be, Is Zach Wilson going to be the man? Can some of these younger talented players like a Breece Hall and a Garrett Wilson, can they step up and be big-time contributors as offensive weapons, and can the defense stay healthy? I think they'll be a pesky team this year. I think they'll be a pesky team. But I got them finishing fourth. However, this Patriots team, you guys, Joe Judge, Matt Patricia, working with the offense. I'm not high on the Patriots this year, but I've learned after how many years, I guess, to never completely doubt Bill Belichick and the Patriots, or was it Tom Brady? Who the hell knows at this point? But there's just, I'll say this. I think the Patriots finish above the Jets, but I don't know if it's going to be by much more. I honestly don't know if it's going to be by a bunch more, because I just don't know what this team is going to look like with Patricia and Joe Judge helping the offense. If the Patriots make the postseason this year and make a run with those two leading the offense, get Bill Belichick's bust in the Hall of Fame now. Just do it. Make the statue. All that sort of stuff. Get it done. And I know we never should doubt Bill Belichick and the Patriots, but there's just something about Joe Judge and Matt Patricia having their hands on the offense that is making me really nervous. Now, they've got tight ends. Hunter Henry, Smith. Can Mac Jones repeat, or I should say take another step from his rookie year? Looked solid last year. Is he going to get any help from the wide receiving department? Devontae Parker? Nelson Aguilar? Anybody? Trent Brown's back over there. Defensively, you got McCourty. They lost J.C. Jackson. But again, Bill Belichick, he'll have his hands on that defense. There'll probably be a couple players on that defense like, who? And they're going to go out and they're going to ball out and they're going to win or make a bunch of money in the following offseason or the next couple off seasons here. I don't think the Patriots make the postseason this year. I don't see where they can. I think the division's a little bit tougher. When I look at the Patriots' schedule, as Surveyor kind of already alluded to earlier, going up against the AFC North and the NFC North, it's going to be tough. And you look at the Patriots' schedule to open up this season. At Miami, at Pittsburgh, home against Baltimore, at Green Bay. And I know the Patriots started off a little slow last year and picked it up at the end, and then you got the Lions and Browns and Bears and Jets. Okay. Then you got the Colts, you got the Jets again, Vikings, Bills, Cardinals, Raiders, Bengals, Dolphins, Bills. I just don't know if there's enough wins on that schedule for the Patriots to get back to the postseason. So I'm not picking them to the postseason. Miami, in my opinion, gets second. They finished second. But Miami, I think, is my sneaky playoff team this year. Call me nuts. Call me crazy. And they've got a really tough schedule too. But I think they can do just enough to get there. But it's all, again, going to be dependent on, is Tua the guy? Miami went 9-8 last year. And I think they got better this offseason, talent-wise. Obviously, bringing in Tyreek Hill. You got Jalen Waddle. Speed, Cedric Wilson Jr. You're bringing in a boatload of running backs. You've got Mike McDaniel bringing in the Shanahan-style offense. Defensively, I like what they've done. Xavier Howard's over there. Byron Jones is over there. Christian Wilkins. Melvin Ingram. Agba. They just signed Flowers. Trey Flowers. I like some of the pieces that they've got on defense. To me, the two biggest questions will be Tua Is he the guy? And is this the right coaching staff? Is Mike McDaniel the man to lead this team? So I know there was some questions about, is he the right? Is it maybe trying to find too much magic? There's been some questions about his experience. You look at it, it's another coach from the Shanahan tree. He was offensive coordinator for just 1 year in San Francisco, but we know he doesn't call the plays there. He was run game coordinator for a couple more years before that. But if Mike McDaniel can do just a little bit of what Shanahan has done, what Matt LaFleur has done, what Sean McVay has done, that whole tree there, then they got something. But it's Tua. This is Tua's time. If Tua can't do it this year, I don't know if Tua can do it. With the speed that he's got on the outside, Mike Gesicki, their tight end, he's got weapons. If he can't do it, I don't think he's the guy. So Tua, you are set up to succeed. Got to take advantage of it. I think the Dolphins this year are going to be a sneaky postseason team. So I'm picking the Dolphins to get there. But it is Buffalo's division to lose. I think they are one of the best teams in the AFC. There's no question. I mean, when you look at all the Vegas odds and the betting odds, and you see all the hype surrounding Buffalo, it's hard not to disagree with it, right? I mean, Josh Allen is a betting favorite for MVP. Got Stephon Diggs over there. I mean, there's a lot to like about this Buffalo Bills team. So to me, I don't know what else we can say other than it's Buffalo's division to lose. It's Buffalo's division to lose. Tough schedule, obviously, coming up. I mean, right away, Buffalo opens up the season on the road against the Rams, followed up with the Titans. Then they're at the Dolphins. I mean, look at the start of the schedule for the Buffalo Bills. This might be the one thing that deters Buffalo outside of health and major injuries. Look at how they start this season. Rams, Titans, Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, Packers. That's their first 7 games. The Bills. That's a tough schedule to start up. Titans, we'll get to the AFC South a little bit later on in the week and such, and I know there's some questions, because they don't have A.J. Brown anymore, but they still got Derrick Henry, so we'll see. But, I mean, Rams, Titans, Dolphins, assuming they're going to be better, Ravens, if they can stay healthy, Steelers, again, we'll get to the AFC North later, but it's like, which quarterback's going to play for the Steelers and that sort of thing. And then the Chiefs, and then the Packers. That's a tough schedule to open up the year. Does get easier for Buffalo after that, though. After the Packers, it's Jets. Vikings are going to be a tough game. I think spoiler alert, I think the Vikings are a playoff team this year. Browns, Lions, Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, Bears, Bengals, and then finish up against the Patriots, who always seem to give Buffalo some fits and a little bit of a rivalry there, though. But I still think it's Buffalo's division to lose. So Buffalo wins it. They're in the postseason. I think Miami finishes second. I think they're a sneaky postseason team. I think the Patriots will finish third, but I would not be surprised to see if the Jets battle them for third. I just don't know what to. The only reason I'm giving some credit to the Patriots is because I've doubted, and we've all doubted the Patriots for a long time, yet they still are there, and it's because of Bill Belichick. But the fact that Joe Judge and Matt Patricia are involved in the offense, I'm a little bit worried about, a little bit nervous about. Mac Jones, can he take another step? Does he have enough receiving weapons? He's got tight ends, but does he have enough wide receivers? I like a lot of pieces with the Jets. It's just going to be so dependent on 2 people, Zach Wilson and Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator. Can they get an offense that can put up points on that board? All right. Before we get to RJ, Dexter Williams. Packers have released Dexter Williams, so there's one running back. Also, just a couple of Sal Cannella, the tight end. Keel Byers also released. So nothing major yet when it comes to some of these cuts for the Packers. All right, let's take a quick break. And then coming up, we'll chat with RJ Cardinal, Badger analyst, Zone in Madison, previewing the Badger football game, first game of the season, starting up this Saturday, this weekend. So we'll take a look at that. We actually get some Badger football, baby. All right, quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Get ready to save with half-off deals, a great way for you to get goods and services that you will love and you don't have to pay full price. Be sure to check out all the great savings that half-off deals have to offer. There's something for everyone, so be sure to see for yourself. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
The Shoe Doctor is known for quality footwear. Remember, the Shoe Doctor can keep your feet comfortable during all the different outdoor weather and activities here in the Chippewa Valley. Work boots, casual shoes, sandals, and more from brands you trust like Keen, Merrill, Chaco, and Dansko, and that's just to name a few. Located on Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire, you can also visit them online at ShoeDoctorFootwear.com. The Shoe Doctor, quality footwear for work, sport, and fun.
Raise your hand if you've taken your vehicle to a bunch of different places to get your oil changed. Too many to count, right? You could probably start a scrapbook collection of all those stickers. You know, those stickers reminding you about the next time you need to get an oil change. Well, now you have your new go-to place. And you'll never have to worry about trying to find another place for getting your oil changed. That's ASAP Used Auto Parts. See, I needed to get the oil changed in my truck. I had to get the truck ready for a trip to Green Bay so Hudson could see his first football game. And like their name says, it was done ASAP. Plus, they checked my tires and the rest of my fluids. Oil changes, tires, batteries, auto parts. ASAP Used Auto Parts does it all with the top-notch service. You can listen to me talk about ASAP Used Auto Parts for a long time, but tell you what, just experience it for yourself, all right? Because chances are you listening right now, you probably need an oil change too. Or maybe some new tires. Just give ASAP Used Auto Parts a call. 715-514-4501.
This summer is the perfect time to hit the open road in a new Chevy. With its impressive towing capability, Chevy Silverado is open to taking the boat out and making some waves. With its off-road capabilities, Chevy Trailblazer is open to new points of view. And with its many safety features, Chevy Equinox is open to added confidence on your weekend getaways. See how a new Chevy can help you go a little farther this summer. Visit hometownchevy.com.
Need an easy, fast lunch or dinner today? Call Jim Bob's Pizza and order your pizza now. Better yet, order any regular priced menu item and they'll give you 10% off if you pick it up. Only at Jim Bob's Pizza, Eau Claire, and Chippewa Falls.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. At this very moment, there are thousands of Wisconsin families impacted by Alzheimer's disease or dementia who need support. Who do they trust? The Alzheimer's Association. Caregiving can be an emotionally, physically, and financially draining role. The Alzheimer's Association provides education, care, and support to all those facing Alzheimer's and other dementia. The Alzheimer's Association is here all day, every day, through their free 24/7 helpline. One call, thousands of answers. If you have concerns about memory loss or other cognitive changes, or questions about caregiving, Alzheimer's diagnosis and treatment, or clinical trials, make that call today to 800-272-3900 or visit alz.org/WI.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter with funding by Oak Park Place Foundation.
The latest sports news, scores, opinion, and commentary. If that's not enough, you should seek professional help. The Dan Kasper Show.
River Country Co-op, they want to help you put some gas in your tank. It's the River Country Co-op Cenex Small Town Gas Pass giveaway. The River Country Co-op Cenex Small Town Gas Pass giveaway of the week is the Gilman and Jim Falls location. So all you have to do is stop on in at the Gilman and the Jim Falls Cenex store this week only to register to win a $50 gas card. No purchase is necessary, but when you're walking in there, you're probably going to grab some snacks, right? Why wouldn't you? Grab some snacks for the road, beverage, Ghost Energy, all that good stuff. So it's your River Country Co-op Cenex Small Town Gas Pass giveaway. Badger football starts on Saturday. But before we get to that, we did have some college football that started this past week, week 0, which is confusing as hell for me. But RJ, if that clock wasn't ticking, it has to be louder now. I mean, Nebraska losing to Northwestern and Scott Frost. I mean, should he start packing his boxes pretty soon here, but big guy?
It's one of those it could turn into, hey, maybe everything starts going his way, but I don't see how after, taking the proverbial poop down your leg, how you even recover from that. How, when you're up 11, and really when Northwestern was deep, they were more playing a, field kind of starting position game. How you decide to kick an onside kick and then everything shuts down for you. You come out of the half, score twice relatively quickly and with some ease off of turnovers and things, and then your offensive and defensive line just basically checked out of the game at some point, whether it's because they were puking 15 to 20 times a practice during fall camp or whatnot, but the line really let Nebraska down. And I mean, heck, I think in the fourth quarter they were I forget how many plays in a row, but I mean, Northwestern got the lead and then just started running the ball and really taking the time off, and ended up with 10 more minutes of possession at the end of the game there. And Northwestern not really a team that's known for putting up 500 plus yards of offense, but if that's what we're going to see out of the Black Shirts, and I know recently I think they earned that title back, I'm guessing that's going to be taken away pretty quickly, because that's especially off the year Northwestern had. That's and Pat Fitzgerald, love him as a coach. I still think he's like your number one coach in the conference for what he's given and the kind of outputs he gets. Not every year, but he can coach a team up. And Scott Frost just got out coached, and Northwestern really limited their turnovers. Where after the game, Scott Frost threw his new offensive coordinator under the bus. So I think if I were the new offensive coordinator, I'd be looking for somewhere else to go, because I've actually done a good job in all my other play stops. It's not like I'm a coach with one winning season and thinks I'm the top dog in the conference, and it's everybody else's fault but mine.
Yeah, no kidding, man. So we know Illinois got a victory too. So Big Ten, technically, are you calling it week 0 or are you calling it week 1? Let's settle this.
It's week 1.
Okay,
I mean, come on. And Illinois is starting to look more like, I know they said they were kind of changing things up based off of what Bielema said with bringing in a new offensive coordinator and things like that. But I mean, that really kind of looked more like a offense that he's been running at Wisconsin, at Arkansas, and still at Illinois now. So I'm not sure what kind of changes are made, but it really looked more like a Brett Bielema style offense of get that ground game going, and Tommy DeVito might finally be the quarterback they have transfer in that can help them get over the hump in a couple or more games to gain bowl eligibility.
Moving to Badger football, RJ, I know, was it a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the CBS sports predictions, and there was one writer that was fairly high in Wisconsin, but I just saw, I believe it was Pro Football Focus, their college one, but they had some college football playoff predictions. They had Wisconsin in the top 6 there. Are we starting to hear a little bit more love or more appreciation for this Badger football team as we're getting closer to kickoff, do you think?
It does seem that way, and it'll be interesting to see how that love translates. It's one of those. I think the media always tends to like Wisconsin because of the division they're in, and honestly, I mean, when you've won the division more often than not, it's one of the wells you can go to and pick up a bucket of being correct. Other than that, I think it's been Iowa and Northwestern who have won the West. I don't think anybody else has. I'm trying to think here. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's going on here. I mean, it's a team where defensively you lose a few guys, but yet we've talked about it before, until this system and this coaching staff and the players that they recruit defensively prove to you otherwise that they're not worth banking on. It's going to be a team that is going to be kept in games solely because of their defense, and hopefully you have the offense that can come around to it. And I mean, you have the returners in the correct spots at quarterback and running back to be successful at Wisconsin. And we'll see what happens here now that we've had the depth chart come out and we see Chimere Dike and Skylar Bell being your top 2 receivers. And like we were talking about, Marcus Allen will be in there. And then Keontae Lewis seems to be the guy, the transfer from UCLA to be your number 2 behind Skylar Bell. So it seems like from what we saw in fall camp, every now and then these guys are making headlines of a great catch and some great throws by Graham Mertz. So hopefully that can translate into success that we haven't seen in a couple of years out of the wide receiver position. And if we do see a falter there, it could be maybe it is the quarterback.
With you mentioned the 2 deep, and that was something I was going to ask you. Did anything catch you by surprise in the 2 deep, or did everything kind of plan out as you had expected?
I'd like to say Riley Mahlman supplanting Logan Brown as your right tackle caught me by surprise. But in talking to Zach Halprin and Bill Michaels' producer Ben Kenny, it sounds like he, throughout this fall camp, which first year in quite some time I wasn't able to make fall camp any practices, so I didn't get to see it myself. A little hurt over that, but it sounds like Mahlman was out playing him, and so if you weren't paying close attention to practice, that would be one, or if you hadn't been talking to people who have been at practice or following practice, that's one that's actually quite surprising. And Logan Brown was your second highest rated recruit behind Josh Oglesby, two tackles. Crazy to think about that at Wisconsin. But that's one. And I mean, we had talked about it last week, I think, about who the inside linebackers are going to be, and I'm like, could be anybody. And so you have I'm going to butcher his name, Mema. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
that guy. And then Jordan Turner are your two inside linebackers with Jake Chaney and Tatum Grass as their backups. So nothing else really a surprise there. I think we knew heading in that for your safeties, Torchio and Hunter Wohler were the two guys who were going to be at least given the opportunity to show they were your number one strong and free safety, and they came out on that. The Utah transfer, Kamoy Latu, is your backup to Torchio. I mean, he didn't transfer here to not possibly make the two deep, so that one looks like it makes sense. And your cornerback or transfer Jay Shaw, and then I can't remember if Cedric Dort's a transfer too, but I think he is as well. And like I said, the secondary was probably your position as a whole unit. You were looking at it, how are we going to replace this? And it seems the transfers are the guys who came on in and supplanted even guys like Samar Melvin, who had gotten some playing time. And so, it kind of played itself out, and we'll see where we go moving forward. We're just a few sleeps away, as they like to count days now, rather than saying days.
Logan Brown, I know I've brought him up with you a couple of times, RJ Cardinal joining us here this morning. And I remember when he was first, I think he was with the Graham Mertz recruiting class, if I remember off top. But I mean, excited when he came in. You mentioned, second highest recruit ever. I mean, that's got to be a huge disappointment, not only for Logan Brown, but for that Badger team to not see him win a job yet, or if he's ever going to win a job on that offensive line.
Yeah, and we've talked about it too. There were injuries in there, and then all in all, it was one of those things that people had started saying about Joe Rudolph. Can he really develop talent? You can bring it in, but was it being developed? And I think as a whole, fans and media kind of were looking at some of these players and being like, geez, these kids are higher rated recruits than what's on here. And I mean, we're trying to play the best five guys, not necessarily the best guy at each position. And I think maybe there was something there in terms of evaluation, or not even evaluation, but more or less maturation within the program. And maybe we do see him kind of step up here and learn the position under Bosted. But I mean, as of right now, you got a 5-star. At both tackle positions, you have 5-star guys who are in your two deep. Nolan Rucci, who redshirt freshman, and then Logan Brown, a junior. So I mean, you have highly rated guys as your backup at the tackles. But I mean, the guys like Jack Nelson, who's going to be your starting left tackle, where he was recruited to play. He's getting moved back out there where he was playing guard earlier. And these guys are coming back and playing the positions they were recruited for. So it's good to see, rather than, like I've said it before. I mean, you can't just go out and play your 5 best guys. They're recruited for a specific reason. And I mean, Wisconsin has done pretty well in recruiting a guard and playing him at guard and getting him to the NFL. With Bosted back, I think we start to see maybe some of these guys who were higher recruits and highly rated start to become what we thought they might.
RJ, looking at this Illinois State game, the Illinois State Redbirds, Yeah, I think I saw a line that the Badgers were about 33.5, 34, somewhere around there, favorites for this game. But when you see Illinois State, what would be the biggest threat that they could give the Badgers, or the biggest test that they could give this Badger football team, if there is any?
It's kind of hard to tell. Last year they went 4-7 in the FCS, and I mean, really, their biggest opponent they played was Western in terms of FBS opponents. They did lose 20-0 to North Dakota State. They lost to South Dakota 20-14. They lost to Missouri State 41-20. They did upset the number 13 team in Northern Iowa last year, though. So, I mean, in ranked opponents, they are 1-4 last year, 0-1 in a 28-0 loss to Western Michigan last year. It's one of those that prompted changes at Illinois State. Brock Spack, their head coach, brought in a new offensive coordinator who is going to be running more of a motion spread type offense. So, you know, I'm not quite sure what they were running before. I was trying to look it up, but didn't really say what their base offense was last year. And I mean, if you're running anything like a pro style set or an I or whatever your base offense was, the first year under a spread, I mean, just making the change between the two, that's a hard thing to do with whatever personnel you have, because you can't totally bring in every transfer out there that's going to help you become a better offense. They did bring in a transfer quarterback in Zach Anixted. If you recognize that name, he was a quarterback at Minnesota who really played 1 year and not every game. In 2018 for the Gophers, got injured, and then Tanner Morgan kind of took over there. So didn't really get a lot of playing time after 2018, where I think people assumed he was going to be the guy. But like I said, 2019 got injured, and Tanner Morgan decided, hey, I'm going to be the man. So he transferred out after, I think he was still there last year, just never played. And now he's going to be your starting quarterback for a new spread offense. And it's kind of up in the air on what to expect from them offensively. Defensively, they were a top 50 defense in FCS. Not sure how good that really means it makes them. They gave up about 350 yards of total offense last year. Still got the same defensive coordinator, and it looks like a few guys came back. So it'll be interesting to see what we see there. Only gave up about 135 yards a game rushing. We've seen teams that do that, and when they play Wisconsin, they end up giving up a lot more. Their weakness was their secondary or pass defense in general. So maybe we do see some things open up for Wisconsin. I like we talked last week, I don't expect to see anything new that Bobby Ingram possibly has added. So if Wisconsin can get through this game playing like they have, which you'd hope they do, I don't think we see anything new, and I'm not sure Illinois State is going to be a problem. Now, that being said, I'll have to take your word on where you saw the spread. I haven't even looked at spread kind of stuff yet. So, but historically, Wisconsin really hasn't been able to cover the spread lately. Mm-hmm. So I still might take Illinois State to cover. And that'll probably blow up in my face. So nobody take that advice. But it's one of those. I don't foresee this Saturday being a problem or close, but that could be a 21-point win. It could be a 28-point win. And if it's 31.5 or 33.5, I forget what you said, that's a lot of points for what we've seen out of Wisconsin, even against an FCS opponent, I think.
I hate to dumb it down to kind of wrap it up here, RJ, but I mean, with these first couple of weeks, you mentioned Ingram as offensive coordinator. I mean, is it almost kind of like preseason for him and maybe some of these coaching staff and this new offense? Because, I think we're all kind of just like eyeing up Ohio State already in a few weeks. But I mean, is it kind of like, these are warm-up games or preseason games to get Ingram's feet wet with play calling and that sort of thing? I mean, I know it's kind of dumbing it down here, but that's kind of how I look at these next couple of weeks, man.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, maybe not the Washington State game, but definitely Illinois State and New Mexico State. I mean, if you can't handle your business without putting new stuff on film for that, get Bobby Ingram used to calling the plays. Get him into the game mode of, going up against that play clock and making sure things get in there in a reasonable time to get a playoff in time, even though we all know the Badgers, much like the Packers, we see them working that clock all the way down until the last minute, last second really, to get a playoff. So I really don't see us seeing anything new, but get him in the mindset of being able to call a game in game, because even though you can have a scrimmage and you run it like that, you can always raise your hand, tell a ref to stop keeping the play clock because we're working on something.
Right.
They'll do that, and they'll let you know, hey, this is when the play clock ran out, and somebody's keeping track of how much time they're over it. But still, it's something that you can't really get a hold of until it happens.
Mm-hmm. He's RJ Cardinal. Do I even have to ask who you're picking to win this game? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Like I said, not sure they're going to cover, but probably like Wisconsin. We'll just go 35-7.
All right, I like it.
And I mean that's without knowing what we're going to actually see offensively from Illinois State.
Right. All right, dude. Hey, appreciate it, buddy. Good stuff. Thanks for breaking it all down for us. Are you going to be at the game on Saturday then?
We got our pregame show down at the Red Zone in Madison on Reed from 4 to 6, and then I'll be sitting in the same seat I have since 1989. So
nice.
we'll be there.
Awesome. Well, hey, appreciate the time, buddy, and looking forward to recapping it with you next Tuesday, bud. We'll talk to you then, okay?
Absolutely. Sounds good. We'll see you then.
You got it. There you go. There's RJ Cardinal breaking it down for us. We've got to take our final break here, get you updated on the poll and some of the other releases, and then we finish things up with a little here's the thing after these quick words.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Is there a move in your future? There is a wrong way, and it usually goes like this.
Hey, Chad, where you at, man? No, it's moving day. You said you were going to be here by 10. You did what? No, what? Never mind. I know who I'm going to call.
Next time you need professional, reliable movers, do it the right way. Get Dan the Moving Man. Go to danthemovingman.com.
Football season is here, and if you're like me, it's got me thinking about the good old days. Friday night lights, touchdowns, cool fall weather, and those old sports injuries. Let me ask you a quick question. Are you still dealing with some pain from those old sports injuries? Is that pain still bothering you today? Let's change that. Start living that pain-free life. And you can accomplish that with the help from Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. To start living that pain-free life today, visit cvosm.com to get started.
Drive safely, Wisconsin. Highway workers are out on the road. They do it to better serve you. And just like you, they want to get home safely at the end of a hard day's work. When driving, all of us have a chance to set the right example. Be patient. Put down the phone. Never text and drive. Slow down and move over if possible to give workers a little extra room. Work zone safety. It's everyone's responsibility.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
The brand new Galaxy Z Flip 4 is finally here with a sleek foldable design that lets you make your device conveniently compact. Visit Samsung.com to order your Galaxy Z Flip 4.
Ad paid for by USA Veteran Law Group. Attention Marines, if you or a loved one lived or worked at Camp Lejeune for more than 30 days between 1953 and 1988, you were exposed to drinking water contaminated with benzene and other highly carcinogenic chemicals, causing those exposed to develop devastating health conditions. You may qualify for significant compensation if you have been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, bladder, kidney, or liver cancer, or other serious health conditions. Get justice at 866-463-0001 or visit usaveteranlawgroup.com.
Stand by as we continue our dig for the truth and the toy at the bottom of the cereal box.
Oh, got it.
The Dan Kasper Show.